Hello and welcome back to Morrisville, North Carolina. It's not the sunny day maybe we were anticipating, but the day of clouds without the rain can still mean cricket is played. Welcome back to Church Street Park for this edition of Minor League Cricket in a matchup between the Baltimore Royals and the Morrisville Raptors. I'm Aman Patel, joined by Nate Hayes as always. Nate, this Baltimore Royals team put on an absolute clinic yesterday. Bowled out the Raptors for 63, but an untimely start to the rain meant that they split points, and the Raptors, they get away with one.
You have to think, as well as Baltimore looked, as well as they did with the ball, and as good as they've done with the bat so far this tournament, you have to think that if the rain had just held off for another half hour, the game would have ended in favor of the Royals, at least by DLS. But yeah, the Royals will be upset not getting points for that, having to split them. I don't know if I've seen such an imbalanced game split points before in this league.
Yeah, it was rather remarkable, and again, I think the Raptors will find themselves incredibly lucky. Those Royals there on your screen, well, they know what they set out to do. They've won the toss yet again, and they've elected to have a bull. Again, they haven't changed the team at all. They've kept the same unit about, and you know as to why. It was their leg spinners yesterday, Nate, that were brilliant. Mohsin and Sarbjit Singh Ludda.
Yeah, absolutely. 7 wickets between them. Most of them bowled wickets. I can't remember seeing that many bowled wickets from a leg spinner, but they were all very full. And yeah, that leg spin attack from the Royals, we know it's something special, especially here at Church Street Park. Sarbjit Singh Ludda moved within 1 wicket of the all-time minor league cricket lead. And there's Mohammad Mohsin, all smiles on the ground. Come on, let's take a look at this Raptors team today. The roster, we've got the playing 11 right here. Ansrai is in again. Sahar Swathan, Adi Gupta, Rivik Kapiti, Raj Nanan, Mahir Patel, George Baldwin, Siddhant Reddy, Mahesh Kolahalam, Tyson Murray, and Aaron Maladuwapatarana. That is a very long name, Aman. I thought I had it yesterday. I had it yesterday.
You did. Aaron Maladuwapatarana.
That's it.
For the Raptors.
It's 17 characters. 13 of them are unique.
Rather remarkable, isn't it?
It is a great name. I love this name. I'm going to master it.
Mahir Patel, he is continuously there in the middle, open the batting for every game for the Morrisville Raptors. Hasn't gotten off to a start. Was undone very quickly just a day ago. And again, we'll be facing Adil Bhatti, the man who got him out. Here we go. First delivery with that slip in place. Real gloomy conditions, rather chilly. And we'll make for an interesting run of game here. And a strong start from Adil Bhatti. Nate, he was absolutely brilliant. A lot of the talk would be on the leg spinners, but the seam bowlers for the Royals were special.
They were very good. This is a very deep team in all facets. But yes, we're seeing Adil Bhatti start the same way he did yesterday against the same batter against Mahir. With that back of length delivery right up towards the shoulder.
Shots. Incredible. 6 for Mahir Patel and 6 of the best.
What a shot there by Mahir Patel. Starting off really well after we just said he was looking at that shoulder height delivery. Yeah, what a shot there. What a way to start for Mahir Patel. Yesterday, 7 from 9 balls. He had 1 4. Today, he's already got the 6. And let's take a look at it. Boom. Well, the pace of the ball helped with that one for sure. All he had to do was get the middle of the bat on him, and he did.
Yeah, no question about it. Again, it was just really something special for Mahir Patel. He's got these shots in the book. I think that's the frustrating part for a lot of the Raptors contingent. They know Mahir Patel can bat, and he's just got to be able to stick in and take advantage of a couple loose deliveries. Second slip is in place now, which is rather intriguing after that shot there from Bhatti. and you think he would take a fielder out, but he's brought one back in. Nate, do you reckon he could be maybe a touch fuller given the conditions of the day?
I was expecting that when I saw the second slip in there after the sixth, but I think they want to dare the batter. I know Body's done well against him. I think they want to dare him a little bit. Put some doubt in his mind too, because I think maybe Mahir was thinking the same thing with the second slip, so maybe that was a bluff.
So Harshwithan, he's got the bat in hand. He was the highest scorer for the Raptors just a day ago. 20-odd runs to his name. And they need him not only to score, he's proven he can do that, but bat for an immense period of time.
Yeah, he needs to bat long for this squad. 21 from 11 yesterday, 2 4s and a 6. So he's got what it takes to put runs up.
And I think just some measured nature in his approach would go a long way. I think when you think about Saharsh, again, very naturally aggressive because he tends to bat in that middle order. Tends to bat at 5, 6, and 7, so he isn't given the luxury to just go in and stay in. But He's got that luxury right now.
He has the luxury. He has to take advantage of it. Mahir Patel can do him some favors by sticking around for a long time as well.
Cut away. And nicely put in the gap. A real positive start here for the Raptors and their openers.
Great cut shot here from Mahir. You know, a lot has been made about the youth of this squad, Aman. But when you give chances like this to your younger guys, and it pays off, that's, you know, it puts the doubters quiet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Again, you see the Canadian helmets on his head, the Canadian red. Again, someone who's represented Canada at the 19 level and is looking to get back into a Canadian national team side. Oh, brilliant. Really nicely played. DJ a bit early on the music, but he knew what we all knew. That was going to the boundary.
And once again, this one right on the legs. Mahir, we were expecting a fuller ball, and he certainly delivered on that one.
Close of over number 1. It's 16 without loss. Now, if you look at Church Street Park there, again, you can see the clouds overhead. Plenty of things going around, and I think the biggest concern coming into today was how is the ground going to look. A lot of talk about drainage over the years, but the outfield looks great. Pitches work brilliantly, and even with the cloud cover, going to get full action.
It's beautiful here. It's beautiful. I think we'll get a lot from the fast bowlers today. Early on, you know the spinners love this ground. We saw that yesterday. So Harsh now on strike now. Canadian Mahir Patel. 20 international to his name. You know, there's a lot of talk, a lot of rumors about Major League Cricket expanding into Canada. Toronto being an absolutely ideal position. We could talk a little bit later about how great of an idea that is, I think. But one of the good things about it would be with a Major League expansion, and Canada included, we could see some domestics and Canadian domestics in Major League Cricket as domestics.
Yeah, I think it would be a phenomenal thing to get some of those Canadian domestics involved. There's some really phenomenal individuals that could be available. Brucey Dublin's looking to get into a Major League setup. He's played in the IPL, and now he's come over here, and I mean, he's a U.S. domestic, but I think there's plenty of talent in North America, and what it would do, it would just continue to boost the North American brand of cricket. So then, you know, when USA and Canada play each other in the T20 World Cup, it gets to another 200, plays 200, kind of chase that lights up an opening day.
I gotta say, there's nothing better than USA versus Canada.
We saw it at this ground. It was really the catalyst. We talk about it a lot of what this community has become. You know, that 2018 qualifiers where USA played Canada, lost in a super over the first game, and then it was a Stephen Taylor magical 22 off the final over in the last. Those were some special things. Someone like Saharsh, incredibly young in those, but he would have really seen that and thought that was inspirational. Slight field change as the mid wicket goes into the deep for Saharsh.
And you said it, Aman, this is a very special cricket community, especially when you get the luxury of having the lights.
This could be close. No, throw doesn't come out. But I like this better from the Morrisville Raptors. You see there's way more intent between the wickets and much more decisiveness.
Yeah, Richie Ramesh really wanted to throw that one. I'm not sure if they would have had a backup in place in time with only 3 on the leg side. We know how aggressive Richie Ramesh is in the field. He wisely bit the apple there, so to speak, instead of throwing it into the gaps. And once again, I'm on the Raptors off to a promising start.
Wow, what a stroke. That is brilliant from Mihir Patel.
Just as I'm praising them for their shot, you can see that there. What a great cut shot there from Mihir. He really has that shot down, doesn't he?
Unbelievable. Quite unbelievable is Mihir Patel and what he does and brings. Again, we know he can be really good, but it's just rather, can he continue to contribute and get stuck in?
Yeah, showing promise here. 19 average this season so far.
And looks very comfortable on the back foot, Nate. That might be something where the Baltimore Orioles might just want to get him to start to drive.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that to happen. We saw the one Fuller delivery in the first over was right at the legs. Here showed that he's up to the task on those. What about a Fuller length delivery swinging away? I think they should try that the next time he's on strike.
Let's see if Rishi Dublin elects to do it. Went for the Fuller delivery, but just misses it.
Yeah, it's a harsh. He looks a little annoyed, but he didn't maximize that one. There is a fine leg fielder in place. If the Harsh wants to maximize every ball, I think he's got that kind of an attitude. You know, when he was younger, he actually played on my team in the Triangle Cricket League.
Oh, there we go.
He was much younger, and still much better than me.
Well done to pick up a single on the final delivery of the over. Will retain strike. Close of over number 2, 24 without loss. Mohamed Mohsen, who started with the ball now, and again, this was where the game really took a turn for the worse for the Raptors.
Well, we've seen 2 overs of fast bowling now, and 24 runs to show for it, which is great for Morrisville.
It's a trouble, loss of the bats, but throw couldn't get off.
And a little bit of lucky there for Mihir Patel, not getting stuck. He's had such a promising start to his innings. You'd hate to see him run out there with his bat. Left his bat behind.
Important for these two not to get out. We saw how quickly things really changed. Again, we spoke about it a lot, but the lack of depth of this Raptors batting attack really has plague them.
Yeah, it's an anvil hanging over their heads right now. The inning starts well for them. After the few games they've played so far this season, you have to think that the pressure's still there.
And I think the whole conversation, there was a real big conversation for the Raptors yesterday after their game. They came through and had a real chat in the dugout. And that's a touch of unfortunate for Mosin. But they sat there for quite some time, and there was a lot of reflection. And again, reflection off a game where they didn't get to bowl. So they know the batting is where they've struggled and where they really need to reset and find their way. Tough to do it against the major leaguers of Mohamed Mosin and company. Close of over number 3, score stays 25-9.
All right, so what do we have in here? The attack right now. Got the Harshweathan on strike. I think that one stays in.
We apologize for the audio issues that we seem to be experiencing at the moment. We've gotten some feedback and we're working on it. Again, still the skeleton crew going about the business right now, so just trying to figure out on the fly. Just trying to see if we can adjust and figure some stuff out. We do appreciate you guys for sticking with us through all of this. Plenty of action all across MLC Network, but thank you for tuning in here in Morrisville, North Carolina. I just feel this is too short for Mahir Patel. He likes to be on the back foot.
I think so. And that's a dot ball. A dot ball is always a win for the bowling side. But yeah, I think so. You've got third man in. We basically got 2 third-man fielders. How often have we seen that here at Church Street Park over the last couple of weeks? The wind is really picking up here. Taking stuff away.
Yeah, again, plenty of conditions all around, and we appreciate your patience in helping us just reset and deal with the mics. We'll hopefully get it fixed at some point. Again, so comfortable there. And there's why that deep point fielder is out. But I just reckon you want to see him driving and facing the bit of movement with this cloud cover.
Yes, I think so. I'm also, you know, they could be trying to take advantage of his aggression, wait for Mahir Patel to make a mistake, knowing that the Raptors' batting isn't terribly deep. The sooner he gets out, the more trouble the Raptors are in. But Mahir's made them pay for any tactic they might have right now with 21 runs from 12 balls, 3 4s and a 6, almost a copy of the Harshweathan's innings yesterday.
Incredible. That to me is better. I think you want a batter on the front foot with the amount of swing available.
Yeah, I think so. Listen, he hasn't, you know, people might have a problem hearing what we're saying. I think the bowlers can't listen to us pretty well right now.
I don't know if they have been. He's been very stubborn to be on the shorter side throughout the day.
Maybe the audio just cleared up. Maybe that's a sign. got the pitch comm in his ear, the device that baseball players use to hear the pitch call to speed up the game.
Clipped nicely around the corner. Much better start. This is a very promising sign for the Raptors. If they can keep this partnership going, again, they can be in a great position. But the asterisk that you'd have is they were 30 for none, Nate, and then finished 63 all out. That's 33 runs for a loss of 10 wickets.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's, a collective failure from the whole team. So there's no finger pointing there.
Straight. And enough bat to carry it all the way to the boundary rope as well. Shwethan closing off that over with the magnificent boundary down the ground.
Let's take a look at that. That one goes Fuller to Swathan. He likes that ball though, doesn't he? Didn't do a whole lot in the air. Swathan punishes that.
Close of over number 4, 33 for none. More Mohammed Mohsen, and still operating with that split fielder. I'll just be curious to see if Mihir Patel and how he looks to go about him. Are they looking for singles, or is it going to be some boundaries come through? Again, I think this is the right way to approach the leg spinners. I don't think you need to be over exuberant. So Harsh isn't someone who likes to get bogged down, so this will be a test of patience, Nate.
We talked before about how aggression can make you predictable, and when you have Mohammed Mohsen, who's got quite a high IQ out there.
Nicely swept.
Yeah, we see Mohsen here. He seems to have mastered this wicket over the last couple of weekends. 5 for last weekend, 4 yesterday. As I said, he's very smart.
How much has that turned off the surface? You can see really stuck was Patel.
When you get that much turn, really opens up the options for the spinner, for a spinner like Mohammed Mohsen. You can go a little fuller and still get results.
Nicely cut. Again, been brilliant on that back foot and continues to climb in.
Yeah, what a great shot there. Answering that brilliant bowling from Mohammed Mohsen. Nice cut. He likes that cut shot, doesn't he? Come on.
Like we said, just really good on the back foot, and I feel that there's been a real misnomer if you're trying to get him out on the back foot. You've got to pitch it up to Mihir Patel, let him drive. I know he got out climbing one of the pace deliveries yesterday, but this has got to be fuller in length. So comfortable just cutting away. That misfield allows for a single. Close of number 5, 40 for none. No surprise to see the leg spinner continue to operate. Sarjeet Singh Ladda will join his counterpart Mohammad Mohsin.
Very interesting here, Aman. A lot of bowling from Cedar Fork end. We don't really see that from Lala. Usually he's bowling from the Shiloh end.
Yeah, curiously, that change event happens. You're right. And that's side Mohsin bowls that typically. That's where he was most successful. Yesterday took 4 wickets from this end of the ground. Would you think the Royals would start to panic at this point, even without the wickets down? It's a good score, 40 for none here, end of 5 overs.
40 for 1. This is, sorry, 40 for none. This is a terrific position.
Do you think that the Royals start to panic or maybe try to force something here, or is it?
No.
Are they still
Not after
comfortable?
yesterday.
Okay.
Not after yesterday. You've already got 2/3 of your runs from yesterday, and you're in the 6th over. I think right now you see what you can do. I think they're going at just a great rate right now.
I think importantly, you got to find single doubles, chance of a run outs. I don't know where Juskron was looking at the umpire for. Maybe just clarification, if it was direct, would have been out. But again, there's lack of communication between the batters, something that's just plagued this team.
Yeah, that was rough. You want to look at that again?
They don't think there's enough time now.
Yeah, like you said, we've seen a little bit of miscommunication from the batting pairs.
Wide call. London unhappy with that decision.
Now, Aman, the interesting thing about this was where did it pitch? It's a question for me, because you could see Saharsh go to his front foot. It turned a lot, but did it turn mostly in the crease, or was it truly a wide?
Close, very close. Says no. Much to the dismay of Sarjeet Singh Ladda. What was the decision there? Nate, let's have a second look.
Let's take a look at it. Tough to tell. It's tough to tell. It might have pitched. I mean, it might have hit outside of the line. It's tough to tell. What do you think?
This is what it looks like. The umpire there. Umpire is saying that it's pitched outside the line of off stump.
That? Yeah.
And it's outside the line of off stump as well. That's close. Quick work with the gloves, and there it is. Might not be the LBW, but it ends up being stumped in the end.
Now look at this here. We just saw, as I said, he's been pitching it fuller there. We saw a couple balls ago, it turned quite a bit. It turns again, misses the bat. And Saharsh is out of his crease.
Saharsh goes for just 12. The first wicket falls here. 1 delivery left in the power play. 42 for 1.
Get a good idea about how much this ball is turning here at Church Street Park lately. Look at that ball. It dove pretty sharply too. What a delivery by Lada, and now he gets closer and closer to that lead.
Yeah, new batter in is Venkat Kohalam. Venkat Mahesh Kohalam. And again, for him, this will be his first time with the Raptors. Added into the team, and we'll see what he can bring. First ever game in minor league cricket for a left-hander. I actually like the fact that they brought in a left-hander, maybe just to take away some of the effectiveness of the leg spinners. But that googly of Sarjeet Singh Ladda is so dangerous.
There's a killing field out here for the righties.
Wow, that is a shot of authority straight away from Mahesh. And welcome to minor league cricket, young man.
What a shot here. What a way to start your career. Look at that. Look at the flight on that, the drift, and he just hammers it right over Lada's head.
Close of the power play. A good one for the Raptors, 46 for 1.
Lumbo with the ball.
That's fine. I just got a couple times.
Here is off,
And like I put the headphones
off strike. It's Venkat back on strike after that daring 4 down the ground on his first delivery that he faced in minor league cricket. So this might be probably the highest strike rate he'll have in his career, 400 right now. I don't think he'll approach that again. Unless he gets a 6 right here.
Let's see it. Again, the left-hander, and that's why they've taken Mohsen out of the attack. Again, this is the ploy. Get rid of the leg spinners. You bring the lefty out, and it's for Lumba to take the ball because Lumba is the offie, so he wants to take the ball away from the left-hander to slip. Ooh, don't want to get stuck. That's the one thing for the Raptors. They've shown, all have shown an ability, but they need to show an ability to use their feet way better than what they've done so far. Call was for 2 initially, but it looked like Mahesh was just slow off the block.
Good throwing. Good throwing there. Nice firm throw from the outfield. That's what you want. You want a nice firm throw that puts it in their minds, hey, we can't take 2 on this guy over here. So you don't even try.
I'm a big fan of this approach from Mahir Patel. The Raptors desperately need an anchor. They need someone to almost bat through 15 overs, and it's got to be one of Patel or Schlippen.
Yeah, if Mahir Patel can see 40, 50 balls or more this innings, it's great news for this Raptors squad. If he can do that keeping up his current strike rate, that's even better.
Still slips in place for Mahesh. Screen. Packed region behind point. Wanting to tempt him into that stroke. You can see the ploy immediately from the Royals. They want Kolahala to feel very comfortable with that shot he played earlier and try it again. Just with some extra drift and wind about it. It's really picking up.
Really picking up. We're getting these gusts. Every once in a while, this one's a little more sustained. Going to do something with flight.
And Malhotra doesn't complete the juggle. He had it for a second. Close of over number 750 on the board for the Raptors.
Let's take a look at that little juggle there. Well, it was off the ground first.
It wasn't a drop. No one was
Yeah.
ever questioning it was a drop.
Nice little juggle though.
Yeah, he's having some fun with it.
A little
you
bit of
know?
hacky sack.
Again, we see keepers here in the South have a lot of personality, and Malhotra is definitely one of those. Very animated behind the stump, especially when Sarjeet Ladda is bowling.
Yeah, we have great keepers here in the South. Jaskaran, one of them. Obviously, USA cricket legend. with his 6 sixes in an over.
Taken. Simple in the end. The 4 was the only thing, and Lumba gleefully accepts the second wicket for the Raptors.
Oh, hard luck there for Venkat. Let's see the flight paying off eventually. It almost always will. It always feels like a matter of time when these spinners from Baltimore are in the middle.
Ends Gulahalam's day on debut. Just goes for 6. It's 50 for 2.
Two from Lada.
George Baldwin out there in the middle, was given a chance to bat at 3. There you go. In here batting at 4. He's been up and down the order, Nate, but the Raptors need him to be effective badly.
Well, we love stats in cricket. One of the great crossover things from cricket to baseball is statistics. We love stats. Sarjeet Lada just tied Funny Simhadri again for the minor league lead. With 93 wickets. And that is something. In just 50 matches, 93 wickets. We got Lada at number 2. Well, tied for number 1 actually with Funny Simhadri. Cornet Dry at number 3 with 84. And Zia Shazad with 80 at number 4. Don't know if you expected that one, Aman, but Zia Shazad number 4 in minor league wickets with 2 spinners. 2 leggies.
And then who's sitting at number 5, Nate?
Milo Ponzo, another spinner.
Well, for me, I look at really Cornet Dry as the only true pacer sitting in the top 5. Funny Samadhi, more that mystery bowler that you have up your sleeve. But Cornet Dry, your traditional seamer, and this goes to speak about his consistency over the years. Well worked from George Baldwin to get off the mark. Didn't get off the mark yesterday, so important to feel a run off the bat.
Going back to last weekend, second match that George Baldwin played, I thought he looked pretty solid. I still feel he looks much more comfortable against pace. But you know, there's plenty of season left to go for him to prove he's totally wrong. And I hope he does.
Oh, just enough. That's agonizing for Lunda. Slip was in place and it flies past and allows for 2 runs. But Patel, he's not getting outfoxed yet. His temperament has been brilliant so far. Started very early aggressive, and then from there he resets himself.
Moving his feet a lot, coming down the pitch though.
Yeah, definitely using his feet quite a bit there. Close of 8, 53 for 2. Even with the lefty gone, Sharad Lumba wants to see more of himself, and why not? Only gave up 4 in his first, and he'll operate to George Baldwin to start. The drift already.
Yeah, it's drifting really well. Let's take a look at that drift. Look at that. Oh my gosh, like an outswinger basically. It's the Magnus effect from the revs.
Baldwin's got to be very careful with that. Really careful. He's back so far away from that delivery, and he's almost taking it off of off stump there.
This is one of the reasons why it's tough batting against spin when you're taller, in my opinion. You have to make space for yourself because it's so easy to get crammed up, and you want to give yourself some space so that you can actually put something into the shot.
And you can look at the difference on those last 2 plays. Both in the same region, both went for 1 run. George Baldwin's had to reach all the way across because he's backed all the way outside leg stump, versus Mihir Patel took in his back foot, he's taken it, and he's gotten it to the pitch of the ball. And from there, he's in line, and he's very compact, and it looks way more natural. There you go. That's better from Baldwin. In line, and he's able to just deliver the ball in a more confident area with a more confident stroke.
Yeah, that was good. That was nice. Gets himself out of danger on the non-striker's end. Keep rotating strike here. This is what you want to do in these middle overs if you're Morrisville. You've done much better than yesterday. Keep it going.
On cue. Right on cue. The wickets keep tumbling. That cut shot proved fruitful early, but ends up being the demise of Mihir Patel.
I thought today we might see him convert one of these starts. Right there. Carries all the way to the point fielder.
Goes after a decent start yet again, Mihir Patel. It's 56 for 3. The captain, Sharad Lumba, fancies himself against left and right-handers, and now will try to fancy himself against Adi Gupta. Came into bat yesterday, had the 1 shot of confidence. Other than that, was kept at bay. And a run immediately to close off over number 9. It's 58 for 3. I just want to take you back to that wicket delivery, Nate. This was actually the last ball, rather. Sorry. We'll try to get you back to that wicket delivery. Because the big thing I took away from that was the fact that Mihir Patel was away from the ball. And he threw his hands at it rather than being very close. And that, to me, was the biggest difference. He was just set in a worse position, and that kept him from being in his spot to get that ball down. More Sarjeet Singh Ladda. Oh, hello! Adi Gupta's gone big and far enough. Welcome to the crease, Adi Gupta.
What a shot here. What an effort. On the boundary. Let's take a look at this. Adi Gupta, we know you've got this power. I love watching you express it, and what an effort there by the fielder.
He gets a fist pump from Jaskaran Malhotra as well. A former captain of his. It signaled 4 in the end, so it's bounced right inside. I think it's unhappy with that, but he's shown his intent straight away. Wow. The confidence and the ostentatiousness of Adi Gupta on full display.
Yes, this is what we know he can do here in Morrisville. Whew, what a shot. And it got there in a hurry, too.
And he prefers facing Sarabjit Ludda because of the pace of Ludda and also where he pitches his balls. Much fuller than Mohammad Mohsen. Gone. Gone. Tried to do way too much. You hit 2 boundaries and he gets carried away. And Sarabjit Ludda has now become the leading wicket taker in all of minor league cricket.
And it's thanks to this. We mentioned Adi Gupta's aggression, how he likes it on the front foot. He's trying to make that into a definite front foot shot, but it's just turning so much here. And once again, an aggressive batter becomes predictable. And he has to go sit down. You have to think, even after those 10 runs, you gotta think that he's gonna get a talking to from his leadership.
He has to. There's confidence and then there's arrogance. 67 for 4. If you're Adi Gupta, you would just hit 2 beautiful shots. Unbelievable. And now you can just take singles or even play 4 dots and there'd be 0 pressure. But instead you get carried away because you're arrogant about the way you've gone about your business.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think trying to take on the leading wicket taker in minor league history 3 straight times, that's bold, and in this case, wasn't the smartest thing.
And you understand where it's coming from Adi Gupta because
Sure.
think about, you go back to the 2021 Under-19 championships down in Houston.
Yeah.
Where did he make a name for himself? It was against Rohan Bolsonapalli, hitting him for 4 sixes in the over.
That's right.
Against the fastest bowler and the best pace bowler of that weekend, he took him to the cleaners, and that's what got him into the national radar.
Adi Gupta's mind, you're thinking, wow, a huge over here for us really gives us a good chance. You start off with 10 from the first 2. You know, you're doing the math in your head, you're getting a little excited, maybe you get a little greedy. And that's the tough thing about this game, is you have to stay balanced in your mind and you have to know the situation.
Hello, Jaskaran Malhotra, asking all the questions, and this is where the things get really interesting for the Raptors. We speak about lack of depth so much, and there's got to be an understanding when you're, typically Adi would bat at 7 because he's a power hitter that comes in and that's his job and his role, but he's not batting at 7. He's batting at 5 and 6, sometimes at 4, and he's batting inside the first 10 overs. There has to be more responsibility upon his shoulders.
Sure, if you're doing that in the 19th over, okay, you know, makes sense. Of course, that's silly to think a lot of 4 overs wouldn't be spent by the 19th over, but you know what I mean.
Oh, beats everyone. The googly. It was the googly that wasn't picked, and I think Malhotra thought it was going to go on to castle the stumps. Instead, it'll be a couple of byes to close off over number 10. Maybe given his runs as well. Interesting what just come off of. Well, a tricky position the Raptors find themselves in as we head to that break. 69 for 4. What can they do when we come back? Join us in a bit. We'll take a quick intermission alongside the players here and the match officials at Church Street Park. Gerard Lumba. You gotta question Baldwin's positioning, but you can't question his approach. He's gotten out of a tricky situation to start, and he's finding runs in regular fashion now.
Yeah, let's see here. Now we've seen some good stuff from Reddy, some flashes. I have to say, the Morrisville team, as we mentioned, they're not deep. They're not deep in experience, but they do appear to have some talent, some good potential talent on this squad. Just want to see them put it all together at once. You're asking all these young players to come around at the same time.
In this field, they're gonna run on it. I think he got home.
Let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at him on. It's a late start, very late start. And the late start makes this close.
Just home.
I think he had him. I think he was in there. I think he got his ground.
Most of them got clipped in the chin on that ball when he went out. That's what's caused the misfield. And we saw him grab his chin immediately whilst he was fielding that ball. George Baldwin's got to be careful. Yesterday he was run out because he didn't drag the bat. He tried to place it down. He didn't get run out. He got placed it down and it was very close. Same thing here. He's not dragging the bat. Those are little basics that can come back to kill you.
It was a close one yesterday. It was very close. It looked like he just got his bat down. He did beat the throw yesterday, and he did just get his bat down. Especially the umpire didn't call him out, but it was too close. It didn't need to be that close. It is tough because he is a very tall guy. I've walked past him before. He's quite tall.
Those little things, they make huge differences in context of these tight situations. Straight up, and just away from Sarabjit Ludda. I'm not sure how he didn't get the ground there. Stationed at fine leg, but Lumbo would be disappointed.
Let's take a look at this. Just boom, straight up, like you said. Just didn't quite get there. Looked like he was moving in time. Maybe he had a long way to go, but that was a chance for sure.
That's it from George Baldwin. And he's bisected the fielders. Little fumble will allow a second run as well. Again, you just see the footwork much better, much closer, and was able to guide that.
Yeah, great shot by Baldwin. I said before, I wanted to see him here come around on a start. Love to see that here from George Baldwin. Love to see him convert something big here for his team.
Testing Ludda's arm. And a single to come off. So, a productive over for the Raptors. Maybe the most productive so far since the boundaries. Close of 11, 76 for 4. Interesting setup there for George Baldwin coming across his crease to Mohamed Mosa, but you love the intent. And I'm actually a big fan of the way Baldwin's gone about his innings so far.
Well, the last 3 balls he's played have been excellent. He's played the ball where it is, on its merit, and he looks very comfortable today. I think maybe this has just been a case for him about finding, getting used to the level and just easing his way into the league. He looks very comfortable today, I have to say.
This is fun. This is fun here, and I'll tell you why after this ball. Muhammad Mohsin's going to dangle the carrot. He's going to dangle the carrot here for Saddam Reddy. What has he just done? Well, he's pushed mid-wicket straighter, and he's also sent his square leg much closer to fine leg and has a mid-wicket. So he's opting Reddy to sweep, which he loves to do. There. He wants him to play that shot. So this is going to be a matchup. Mohsin's going to get him to play that, and then try to slip one slower, or slip it in much quicker, and try to get it through him and onto his pads. Like you said, he's so intelligent, Muhammad Mohsin. He's always thinking. George Baldwin, just starting to get a move along. This is good for the Raptors. They just need to bat 20 over, something that they haven't done too often.
Absolutely, this has to be the #1 goal today for a young squad. You know, if you're going to invest in the youth, you have to have long-term goals. Your day-to-day goals have to reflect those long-term goals. We got ourselves, he called himself a timeout there.
Can we see that again,
Yeah,
Nate?
sure.
Does that come off the stumps? No, it just passed it. I thought it hit the stumps on the way through and didn't affect the furniture. I said that would have been something that Social could take.
I think it was just Doran's thumbs, or his left thumb.
But that was the googly. So again, watch the ploy with this field. Puts it over the mid-wicket fielder. This is very intentional from Muhammad Mohsin. He's giving Reddy the ball to sweep. He's putting it in that position because the fielders are in place to allow him to play square. If he plays a conventional sweep straight, fielder protection. He's got to take it square.
Now, okay, another good shot. Mirror image of his last one.
Definite plans here for the Raptors to take on these leg spinners. Malhotra, he wants some interference, but this isn't the NFL. There's no yellow flags coming out for a 15-yard penalty or spot foul. 81 for 4 at the end of 12.
So, Amon, we saw the late timeout there from Reddy, and we saw the googly come in right there, just missed the stumps. Now, with that late timeout, you were talking about how he was trying to set that up with Reddy, trying to get Reddy to sweep. And if that had crashed into the stumps on that late timeout, you'd have to think Mohsin might have frowned once.
Yeah, it would have been a touch of unfortunate. I think there's two ploys, and we talked about it over the break here, that you can sit there and say he's trying to set up Reddy, but in the same vein, we saw Baldwin expose all the stumps, and it could be that Mohsin was saying, oh, I could really just eye in onto these stumps and key in onto George Baldwin and his technique.
Yeah, so let Reddy have the single to go after Baldwin.
Excellent. Excellent. Again, this is what we're talking about with Baldwin. He likes to make room, and so Bati's followed him.
Look at that ball from Bati. Oof, man, he has so many tools in his tool chest, doesn't he? Cuts it well, swings it well, bounces it well. Last played for USA in, I think, February of 2018, Bati did. So he didn't get to play in that game here at Church Street Park. Boy, it would have been fun to watch him.
Excellent recognition. Excellent recognition here. Understanding where Baldwin's going to look to attack and how he likes to score his runs.
As we said, Baldwin was looking comfortable, going at about a run of ball, just easing his way into the innings. Now, this puts pressure on him. 3 straight dot balls here.
And I feel that shot has come out too soon. That's just a bit too rash for the situation. Keep batting into the 18th over. Excellent changeup. Malhotra's on the ground, but that is phenomenal from Bati.
You can see the change up here. Watch the offer from Baldwin. See how he waits and waits and waits, and it's just all arms at that point.
The leg cutter. Brilliant. Again, phenomenal what we were saying from Adobaki. He's not just tremendous early, which is why a lot of teams will give him 3 up front, but in the death, I think he almost might be better.
He is such a fun bowler to watch. It is so fun doing commentary on him.
How much is that jagged back?
Let's take a look and see. This came back quite a bit. You can see it's pitching on 4th or 5th stump line right back there into the armpit. Oh my gosh. That's tough. Now just Garn's asking, making sure he's okay.
I don't think it came up to hit him in the grill. I think it got him in the shoulder.
Yeah, looks like it got him upper chest or something.
But it looks like that someone is going to come in to just have a look at Baldwin. Yeah, umpires called for a concussion check. Malhotra's ready to do it himself. Here we go. How many fingers? 2, 1. Love to see again the gamesmanship and the camaraderie in a minor league setup in this minor league competition.
Let's look at it again. Yeah, oh, it did come up in the grill a little bit there, didn't it? Oof. Yeah, that's no fun.
Out comes the physio now in the red, I believe. I see someone making their way towards George Baldwin. You can see George Baldwin say, "I'm fine. You don't got to worry about it."
See Alvin there explaining to him, "Hey, let's just be sure."
Ah, so you saw what he just said there. He says, "It's not come straight to my face. It's come off my shoulder into my grill. So there's no pace on it. I don't need this."
Ah, I see.
But yeah, the questions that are asked. I actually really like to hear NFL players talk about this. And Julian Edelman started a podcast, and he had Danny Amendola on it. Now Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola, 2 former Patriots receivers, as we see this shoulder into the face. They talked about how they had a pact for when the concussion rules came in. If off a kick return or one of them were on the ground, the other would go pick them up and go to tell them it's October 3rd, it's about 2:30, we're up 10-7, so they could answer all the questions that the concussion protocol was going to ask them, so they didn't have to come out of the game, Nate.
Oh, well, that sounds like the stupidest thing I've heard.
They're football players at the end of the day.
Yeah, I remember I played football and I was stupid too. This was before anyone cared about concussions in any way, though.
Said were there, Nate. A single to ruin the maiden. I think Nate hasn't quite heard what I said as well. Hasn't recognized the sledge. 82 for 4 after 13.
All right, I'm on. I get it. You were trying to say I was stupid.
No,
I get
Nate,
it. I get
Nate,
it.
you
I
know
get
what?
it. Well, it took me like literally like the entire break there between the overs. They changed ends completely before I got what you said. So you might be onto something
no,
here.
I'm not. Nate, you're one of the smartest humans I know.
Right.
When you're focusing on something, there's no one else.
Look, don't make people think that your world is that small. Your world is much bigger than me being one of the smartest people that you know.
More Sanjay Singh Ladda. Wow. Significant and prodigious turn. And with a bit of wind as well, Nate. It's not stopped, this wind. It's been off and on, but there's been some significant gusts.
Been some gusts. This drift, this flighted deliveries have to be a nightmare right now. So fun. It's so interesting in cricket how the environment affects the game so much.
It's really unlike most sports. There's very few that have the weather have such an impact. You know, golf would be one. I think that's very similar.
Right.
But even the NFL, which you play in some conditions, very rarely do those conditions play such an impact on the game.
Yeah. No, it's in a lot of indoor sports also. It's like in basketball, you've got those soft rims at Duke. but everyone plays on them. You know, everybody shoots on the soft rims. Both teams do. If one side is more soft than the other, each team gets a half on the softer rim side. Now, obviously, Duke gets to practice on those, and maybe they've tightened them up over the years. But here, the conditions can change in the same game. The conditions can change so much in cricket. You know, yesterday we saw rain come down. Now, if the game had gotten back on after all that rain, Baltimore would be chasing 63 on a field that's just gotten a lot of rain, which could change the way that they chase 63. And normally, under the same conditions, you would expect them to chase that down maybe within 7-8 overs and get a huge net run rate boost.
Also, it just changes the way that you approach the game as well, doesn't it? Certain bowlers become more useful. Now you're like, oh, we don't really need them and we can't use them. Today felt like the day for swing bowling, and could still very well be the day for swing bowling. But the wicket being the way it was, completely under tarp until an hour before game time, it was definitely going to take some of that moisture through and allow it to grip and rip. Fascinating the ways cricket is just affected by so many little things. Close of the 14th and close of Ludda's day. 25 for 3 are his figures. It's 86 for 4.
Come on, what are you trying to target here? I would say Morrisville can't be happy with anything less than 120 today, but that's a tall task still.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think for the Raptors, you still have Rajanan, who would give you that bit of power in the back end, but outside of him, you don't really have that big hitter. So these two have to really bat through. And 120 seems to be what you have to get to at the minimum, and then find your way from there.
And this is a tough spot. We just saw Baldwin struggle so much against Ado Body. And now Body right staying in the attack. He's got two overs to go. We've got Reddy on strike actually to start this over. So defended there. With Bati performing so well in his last over, now he went expensive in his very first one. Those batters are now in the dugout, relaxing, waiting for the second innings.
And this is why, again, Ado Bati is so useful, because even if he gets taken apart early, he comes back late with all the skills and experience he's gained. That's an off putter. So we've seen two different types of slower deliveries now from Bati. He's bowled the leg cutter, which has come out of the back of the hand, and the one we just saw, which comes through the fingers. So you can give him 3 up front and save 1 for the end, or give him 1 up front and go 3 at the end to be happy either way. Just short of any fielder. And that's such an asset to have, Nathan. I think he brings such a mix to this Baltimore Royals attack that they didn't have a year ago.
He really does, and I've said it several times. He always impresses me with his ability to find the right length for the type of ball he's delivering, for the wicket that he's on, for the batter that he's facing. His ability to find the right length, to me, so consistently is very impressive.
Just away. Enough bat on it from Baldwin. A touch of fortune brings up a boundary, a rare one for the Raptors.
Well, like you said, touch of luck there. Sometimes that's what it takes. But you need to have courage, and it looks like Baldwin has it. Taking that shot on after getting one off the shoulder and into the grill. Cricket is not for the faint of heart. So if you're Baldwin, you've got to let that shot let you relax a little bit.
No time to relax. Time to get your foot on the pedal. He wasn't able to get it out of the screws. That 4 there, Nate, was the first one since the 10th over. Remember, that was the over of Adi Gupta. Started with a 4, then a 6. But from that point, haven't seen a boundary, haven't seen an over with more than a single double since that initial period.
But very importantly for the Raptors, we also haven't had a wicket in that span. You're in the 5th over since the last wicket.
On cue, Nate Hayes, the commentator with the curse on today. It's the 5th wicket down for the Raptors.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Why did I have to say the magic words there? Why did I do that to you? Oh, ready. I'm so sorry. Please accept my apology.
He goes for 9. It's 92 for 5. Getting some sand down. We saw Al-Dawbaki in the previous over just say, hey, this area here is just a bit wet. And that's something we would have to consider with the Raptors bowling innings. Not a lot of seamers up their sleeves, but something to look at, Nate.
Yeah, I think so. Once again, a unique thing about cricket, you know, how important and finicky the ground is. Now, we have a great ground crew here in Morrisville, I have to say. But you know, I think cricket was invented by a sand salesman. As much as we see sand here in Morrisville, I know how many times Aman and I played for a team called the Raleigh Royals, and boy, it was like, I swear that team must have spent so much money on sand. How many games did we force to happen because we just covered the field in sand when there were puddles everywhere?
That's the beautiful thing about Morrisville cricket, and it might be cricket across the country. You have stories like that at home shared, but it would literally be you get to the ground, there's no chance to play, and then everyone runs to the nearest Lowe's or Home Depot and buys 10 bags of sand and just starts putting it everywhere on the field. It was never, we're not going to play. How can we play was the question. And Lance there, head curator, he's got the sand in the bucket, making sure things can happen. And again, it's something that's just spread throughout the community, Nate.
It sure is. And I have to tell you, on those days, sometimes when you're the guy who you know is going to field in all of the messiest places, which I think you and I had plenty of on that squad, you almost would rather just, hey guys, let's just go home and watch. Let's watch some cricket or watch some football or something. I don't want to get soaking wet and covered in sand.
I want to see that again, Nate. That delivery there.
Take a look.
Look at the way Mohsin's held this. It's a quicker one.
Totally.
That's been seam off.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous from Mohammed Mohsin.
He really sped that one through, didn't he? Trying to take advantage of Baldwin and maybe catch him moving a little too late.
Yeah.
Baldwin handled it pretty well.
He just got a bit too short. Here's Nanan, who hit him for a 6 yesterday, but was undone immediately after. How long does this partnership need to last? Is it the last partnership the Raptors can afford to have?
I think this partnership has to take them to 120. I think that this partnership here, however they do it, if they do it in the next 10 balls, if they do it in the next 4 overs, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whatever it takes to get to 120, and you have to understand this is your last over Mohammed Mohsin, so don't gift him the wicket. We know he can already gain one. Don't force it. Take your singles and get out. And Baldwin's been doing that very nicely. No doubles. There's been tremendous work in the field, but the singles will do here for Morrisville to try to take on Rishi Dublin and company later.
You have to wonder if that quicker ball that Mosin delivered earlier, if he had put that full, I see that one fall safely. If he had put that one full on him, right at the stumps, you might have gotten some results. The way that Baldwin keeps backing away from his stumps.
Let's see if he goes with the fuller delivery here. That's quick. This time Baldwin doesn't back away as much. George Baldwin, I think, has really turned some heads today. Moved to 21 runs to his name now. And I look at 22 make it as we close the 16th over, 97 for 5. I look at him as someone who, again, would have this extra bit of responsibility and has shown really great ability today to not be a hitter, but just to carry your innings through.
Yeah. I think last weekend I said that he didn't look comfortable against spin. Boy, is that a different story this weekend. I think he looks much more comfortable against spin. So that's one thing, you know, you can't judge a batter based on just one innings or not. Of course, we're going to make comments, but we are open-minded.
You just want to see someone take that responsibility. I think that's the big thing. We've seen
time.
flashes from Mihir Patel now, Sahar Swithin, Adi Gupta, Murray Tyson, George Baldwin.
Yeah.
You just want someone to take ownership of an innings for the Raptors. That's what they need.
Yeah, the intent can mean so many different things in cricket. You know, you have to go up there with intent. Sometimes you have to go up there with the intent that you're going to be there a long time. You're going to battle. And that's the type of intent the Raptors need today. 4 overs to go, 97 on the board.
Just short of the fielder station at long off Abdul-Bati.
So you see, Baldwin really does like to give himself space and free his hands up. Hopefully he's not giving himself so much space that he only leaves himself the end of the bat to use.
This is where Nanan can be rather useful. Really great with pace on the ball. Again, he can muscle it. When you give him something full with pace, he tends to swing for the fences and can heave it a long way. It's why the field is shifted very promptly. You've got the long on in place and the deep mid wicket. There's a backwards square leg fielder in the deep as well, along with the cover with long off inside the ring. So daring Nanan to go over the offside. Goes up, and gone. Great ploy from the Baltimore Royals, and the Raptors captain once again goes without truly affecting the score.
Good stuff here from Dewan. Take a look at this shorter delivery. Even Raj at his height has to climb the ladder to get a bat on it. But he doesn't do anything with it at the end.
Goes for just 2, it's 98 for 6.
Let's look at this delivery again. I think, come on, this might have been a high wide if he leaves it alone. You see him leave his feet to get up to it.
Yeah, I think I concur. I think it's just the pressure of the situation, of knowing you need boundaries, and it felt like a little bit of a loose delivery. I think Nanan thought he saw width, saw it back of the length, and thought he could really go.
You had 2 fielders back there. You had 2 fielders over there waiting for that. Even if he had gotten more of it, there was a fielder back at the boundary who could have done something with it. Let's see.
Again, just chasing. He was just chasing. I think the problem with the shot was more so he went to hit it up rather than hit it away. It was a touch off pace. And I think that's just what upset him. Unshrine out, walks in, had a chat with George Baldwin. The chat would be just to bat through. Heavy cut off the surface. I think Rishi Dublin has read the situation nicely.
We talked about the intent that Baldwin has had to stick around, to be there. On try, I feel very confident that he's going to go out there and he's going to have the right intent. Now the results may vary, but I feel like Ansh is the type of a batter who doesn't make rash decisions.
Calls for 2. Yet again, no double available. That'll bring scoring close to that 100 marker. That's Aryan Batra who disputed that delivery. Nate, we haven't seen him all weekend with the ball.
No, we haven't. There hasn't really been a reason to. You can't argue with the results Baltimore's got with the ball this weekend. But it just goes to show the many options that they have at their disposal for many different situations. And we talked about the way that the wicket affects the play. It affects who you put in.
Slower one picked up and taken all the way. Tremendous from George Baldwin.
Well, that's the way to get back closer to a run of ball after anchoring this portion of the innings for your team. What a shot there. And this is what those long arms, this is what he wants that reach for.
He picked the slow one very early as well. I think that was a big key. It was right on stump, so he had to take it from a risky position. But he just read the delivery so early. Sabundo, he's got a smile. One delivery left in the over. And this gives up a single. A productive over for both sides. A wicket, but a more important 6, you'd argue. 17 gone, 106 for 6. Curious. Change of ends for Abdul Bhatti. Would have thought he might have just bowled 3 from one side, but maybe just the rotation to get the combination they want bowling overs 18, 19, 20 in the right vein.
Well, as much variety as Abdul Bhatti has, I don't think you have to concern yourself with sticking him at just one end. He seems to be able to handle just about, any instruction thrown his way. I mean, what a luxury it is to have a bowler where you can just conceive of a plan and be like, we know Adibadi can execute that.
Execution at its very best.
And you see Baldwin backing away again. Almost costing him. If he had caught the edge of that, it might have gone right into Juskaran's hands.
Plan simple. It's going to be Yorkers and off speeds to Baldwin. So what does Baldwin have? Can he just start to move along his crease to upset Bhatti? Perfect. Yet again from Abdul Bhatti. The movement early from Baldwin didn't affect him. Baldwin unable to come back for a second.
You heard a tremendous sound on the bat there. But just one run. I had a fielder at long off before that ball.
You talked about Unshrai's ability to make the right decision. The right decision is to get a single. And that's why you've seen the field come in front of Unshrai. The only fielders that's just been backed up is that third fielder. And Baldwin's frustrated. You can see George Baldwin at the far end just throw his head up.
Well, if you're the bowling side, they did just before that send third man back. Ansh is there to try to get singles. Bowling him a shorter delivery or a good length delivery is a great move.
Straight as you like. from Untry, and they come back for 2. Big decision there from Baldwin, but he's happy to give the young man the strike.
Very well played there from Unch. Take a look at this. Very well played.
Again, very confident on that front foot. Like you said, you want to test him on the back foot and see what shots he has.
That was probably the best running we've seen today, I think, from Morrisville. Intent on 2 the whole way.
Better. That's what you want from Baki. Test the back foot shots of Untry. Can he play you off the strip?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see we have third man a little more square than he was the first delivery. We've got a deep backward point.
Flies. And flies for 4, I think. Ludwig says he saved it.
Well, let's look at the replay. He was all over the place. It looked like it might have gone to me. See if we can get this.
Very tough. You're blocked
Very
by
tough,
that railing.
Very tough. Now, to me, it was a question of, I knew Lada hit that rope. It was when he hit the rope, and it looked like to me he hit it just before. Just before. Let's look again.
There's some fans saying it was a 4. It's a 4.
Yeah, he hit the rope when he wasn't touching the ball, it looked like to me.
It's right there. It's whether it's come off of his arm and come onto the rope. It closes the 18th over. 111 for 6. More issue Doven. 111 for 6. The Raptors moving in the direction they want to be moving in.
That was such a close call, such a difficult call to make for the umpires, that potential boundary.
Again, you got to go off fielder's call. Like batter's call for 2. What has Richie Doven done? He's let it go. That's run out. Untry's nowhere close to home.
Oh, he would have been out here if Dawan takes this throw. Let's see here. Here's the throw in. If he takes that throw, it looks like, now he would have had to reach over the stumps to get that. That would have been a tough one. Or if he just put himself in a better position for it in the first place.
He just had to get himself just around like stump. Again, he would argue it's pitched right in front and it's tough. And I think it's one thing to miss, but one thing not to put your hands out in general.
And it looked like there was time for him to get in the right position.
Excellent slower one. He read George Baldwin like an absolute book.
Yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at this. Baldwin goes across early, but I'll tell you what, Baldwin has gotten the off-speed change-up a few times. And he's read it well enough to salvage something out of it each time. We saw the 1-6 when it was on his legs, where he was still able to, he read it early enough, he was still able to use his hips. But you see that one there, he was still able to poke it for 1. So by my count, with the 3 slower deliveries I remember the most, he's got 7 runs out of them. That's not too shabby.
Wide. I'm unhappy with it, Dublin, but I think it's the right decision, Nate.
That's a tough one. It's certainly exaggerated by the size of Untry. And it's difficult to judge these as an umpire when you're bowling across the batter like this. It just has to get in at the crease. But there's a long distance after the crease between the crease and the keeper where it can continue to move.
He's showing off all of his options, Dublin, this weekend. And it's just so much to ask of young Untry. to be picking these deliveries and then find scoring options on these deliveries.
That is tough. That one. That was a good slower ball. You saw how it looked like a full toss out of the hand, and then it just dove. You're releasing that ball like that though, that high.
What a catch from Mohamed Mohsen. Sees it through the hands of Jashkan Malhotra.
Terrific catch from Mohsen. That is not easy to do back there. First of all, slip is hard enough. When the keeper's gloves get in your face, look at that. What a good stop. I've seen some amazing catches from Mohsen over the years in various formats, including Ball and Play League. He took a stunner for John Boy Media.
Having some fun with it. Untry goes for 5. Another stunner from Mohamed Mohsen. 115%. Murray Tyson. Could be out straight away. Yes, he is. It's taken off the leg stump. And Tyson, he's got a look of shock on his face.
Yeah, just took the bails right off there. Just squeezed right through. What a tough day there so far for the youngster. Take a look at it right here. That one continues. What a spell he's had. What a spell he's had. We've seen the mixed bag. We've seen everything from him. Him and Ado Badi really do have just innumerable weapons.
And the Raptors running out of weapons of their own. It's 115 for 8, and the new man in is Aaron Patirana. What can we do? It didn't get a chance to bat yesterday. Remember, he just came to the non-strikers and watched it pick up, and he faced the googly that went straight through him. But here he is. He's been brought in for what he does with the ball, but here's his opportunity to maybe get a promotion. We've seen plenty of those for the Raptors this season.
Oladipo Patirana. Let's see what he has. I'd like to see him guide them to that 120 that we talked about. I'd like to see him guide him to that 120 that we talked about.
It's going to be tough, no question. The hat-trick ball evaded. Rishki Dhawan, 3 for 29 in his spell. And the Raptors, they are 115 for 8 with an over to go. Nate, what are we doing right now? Let's see. You're putting the charger in? Little wave. Let's get you back to game action. Love having you here at Church Street Park. Nate Hayes just needs to get that computer going. So he's got all his stats coming from. He's got them all upstairs as well. That's why I've called him one of the smartest people I've ever met. Straight That's a way to welcome young Aryan Butler with the ball in hand on the weekend. Board open.
Well, I just got back to my seat I'm on, and I didn't have that on replay. So you're gonna have to do this the organic way, the manual way, and then I get a look at this and what just happened. Let's take a look. Get the full run up there. Boom. Great shot there from Baldwin. As we said, he's going to want to be there the rest of the innings.
Better length. That's the length that Butler's going to want to be. Can't get too full. I think it would make it too easy for both Baldwin and even Aaron at the other end.
And that's 120 up. So already a much better innings.
Already, it's been that for sure.
They've almost doubled yesterday's total.
Remember, they were bowled out for 63 yesterday, and their last matchup before that, they were bowled out for 83. So they've nearly put that together in this innings.
This is something you can build on. You have to think if you're the Raptors. Now, this is a very good bowling side. This Baltimore Royals team is very, very good. Your team, the Raptors, is very, very young. So if you're the Raptors, this is nice. Like I said, it's a young team. Your goals are going to have to be long-term. So you're going to have to make your goals in the interim to be tailored to the big goal. Right now, in my mind, it was get to 120. I'm not sure what it was in their minds, but
Single. A run for Mardu Patirana. And important for him to find that run to get Baldwin back on strike. Needing to see these final 3 deliveries and give the Raptors a chance to get to 130. Again, you don't reckon 120 will be anywhere near enough. You have to go out of your skin with a batting lineup that features 5 individuals who have been a part of Major League Cricket. And the fans around have been calling for sixer, sixer. Let's see if George Baldwin, sir, can deliver. Up. And gone. Sherrod Lumbum makes no mistake. And Baldwin, he's had a great day. 39 important runs for the Raptors, but today has belonged to the Baltimore Royals.
Well, he did what we said. He needed to be there to the end. He got 2 balls shy of being there to the very, very end. This was a good day for Baldwin. Hopefully a good start for him for the rest of the season. Something he can build on. He should be happy with himself after that. Exactly what the team needed him to do.
Next man in, Rithvik Uppity. Undone by the Goosley. Won't have to face that. And won't have to worry about fending balls off. Go and look to hit, young man. Interesting bit of kit as well. I'm wondering what that is on top of his helmet. It looks like something to block some logos. I thought it might have been another protective element, but it is just some tape.
I was going to say, if you have a GoPro on there,
that would be pretty sick.
That would be cool.
That'd be a great camera to cut in live if we could.
Yeah, with the 3 of us, if we could pull that off with just the 3 of us, we're talking like, what's the equivalent of like YouTube Cricket Emmys? We're talking about that. Come on. We have to invent that first so we can give it to ourselves.
We might have to ask Cricket District to do that. They might have the awards show and the gravitas to pull that off.
Maybe.
1 run. You'll take it. At least 123. That's what you're looking at. Find a way to get a second single here. And this is my big test for a lot of lower order batters. In a situation right here, A, can you get bat on it? And B, do you stop running? There's no reason for you not to stop running here.
Last ball, I say you got to run it all out. You just got to run it out. Do something big for your team right here. Electrify people.
Bat on it. And they stop running. Just the 1. So 123 on the board for the Morrisville Raptors. They'll take that after what they did yesterday. Nearly doubled their score from last night of 63. Nate, a display with the ball that belonged to the Baltimore Royals. But the Raptors, they fought back.
Yeah, Raptors really did fight back. Now they still should be concerned with 9 wickets. So that's 19 wickets in their last two innings. On the flip side, Baltimore's got to be really happy with their bowling. 19 wickets in their last two bowling innings. So let's see how Morrisville does in the defense of this, and let's see how the weather holds up. It's supposed to be, I think, pretty clear from here on out, but let's see.
Baldwin, the high score for the Raptors with 39. Mahir Patel got 33 to his name, but with the ball, it was 3 wickets for Dublin, 3 wickets for Ludda, a wicket for Baki, Lumba, and young Aryan Butler in his one over. All right, so that tells us here in Morrisville, North Carolina, 123 for the Raptors. Can they defend it when we return, or will the Baltimore Orioles take revenge after losing out on a point yesterday? Wait and find out.
Are they ready?
Oh, you're muted, thanks. We are unmuted now, and we're ready to go here at Church Street Park. The Baltimore Royals and the Morrisville Raptors facing off, and it is the Royals that will need 124 when we start things up here in this second innings. Nate Hayes, this one feels like it could be over very quickly.
Yeah, with this Baltimore side, you know that they're going to want it to be over very quickly. And, you know, because yesterday they had to split the points, they know that run rate's going to come into the equation as far as who advances. It often does, so often here in the South. They're going to want to make up some ground on net run rate in this innings. I think that that's got to be their mentality going into this.
124, like we said, is what's required. And absolutely, there's an opportunity to adjust the net run rate, and that's why Mukhtar Ahmed is out there in the middle to open alongside Gunwarjit Singh. So not Agni Chopra like we've seen, not Sharad Lumba like we've seen. They want to give their middle order players some more exposure, and doesn't hurt the fact that they are two very naturally aggressive individuals.
True. And does the consideration for net run rate, does that put some pressure on that Raj Anand could take advantage of here and the rest of the Morrisville Raptors? Does that give them a little bit more hope in this inning?
Let's find out. First delivery. Victor very watchful. Loves that first slog sweep, but can be compulsive in playing it. Going, gone. I think it might have almost hit the scaffolding or hit the scaffolding that our camera operator is on, but Mukhtar Ahmed gets the soaring off with a bang.
What a bang it is indeed. Look at this. Mukhtar Ahmed, has he been in some kind of form in minor league in recent seasons? Look at him go. He's a serious cricketer.
Indecisiveness running there. Rajanan, you would say, is the best bowler in the Raptors group, Nate. Would you concur with that?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got lots of experience. He's been drafted into a major league team. He's had a lot of great results in his minor league career.
So important for him to get off to that big start, isn't it, with the ball and just start to restrict runs. Maybe take some wickets as well.
Yeah, I think they'll need him to take wickets with a score this low.
Pulled. Fielder right there. Very lucky it didn't continue to carry. It'll be curious to see what options are used by Nanan here. He's got a couple of them. A couple proven. Anshurai would be the one that you've already seen. We've seen Ritik Uppity. Murray Tyson's bowled a bit, and Adi Gupta as well. My curiousness comes into Aaron Patiran. He's in as a bowler. When do we see him, and what kind of impact can he make? He hasn't played in minor league cricket. Didn't get a chance to bowl yesterday. So can he come in and affect the game? And a dot to start Gunwarjit Singh's day. Close of number 1, 7 for none.
And yesterday, what a shame. We didn't get to see any of this Morrisville bowling. We would have seen Ridwick with the ball early and seen a little bit of mixed results from Ridwick, but we've seen him bounce back from some tough times already. And he's bowled in clutch situations already for this Morrisville team, especially in their win, the Super Over win.
Yeah, no question. Again, he's so useful, and I think given his young age, you were just concerned how consistent could he be. But he showed off the consistency, lack of extras, which is something that's plagued Raptors seamers in the past, especially their young seamers. So to get him in rhythm and not giving up runs elsewhere but off the bat. And then for me, it was coming off that super over where he showed great deal of confidence. He was the reason they gave up the 4 runs to get to that super over, but came right back, bowled 6 tremendous deliveries. So beaming on confidence now, the young man. Just enough bat. Nicely carved from Mukhtar Ahmed. Sahar Shwetan takes a bit of a tumble, but won't be able to keep it to the boundary. It'll be 4 runs there for the Baltimore Royals.
Tough luck there for the Raptors. Saw it just clear and then roll. Sahar Shwetan couldn't knock it back in.
Just curious as to the way he's walking. It feels like there's a bit of a limp, no? The way he almost took that little hesitation off of the boundary rope, but it seems to be alright and in good spirits. Ahmed wasting no time already in this innings.
Quick delivery there. It's good ball.
He's got great height, so he gets that bit of extra bounce and a real rugged action, and it's gotten much more tame since before getting to minor league cricket. There was a time where it was really all hands. Even through his run-up, it was almost like he was loading and reloading a machine gun, or a shotgun if you will. The way the right arm would flex all the way out and then come back to a coiled position with every single step, and then the right arm would be completely out in front of him, almost, if you can imagine, Justin Boomer, but with that arm pointed towards the batter, and then come around. So there were so many moving pieces, but he always generated tremendous pace. So he's allowed to continue to be wild, but he's refined the action to where now it's much more replicable. Allowing for much greater consistency, and it's propelled him into the under-19 team and into minor league this season. Nick?
Yeah, you see he's got those long arms that go along with the height. Long stride too. I think he's just built for hurdling objects quickly over the top of his head.
Maybe jab that. Maybe you can get him into that now as well. I love his run-up, the top of his run-up, what he does at the top of his mark. So unique. You pick up and well stopped. Incredible there. I believe it's George Baldwin. No, it's Murray Tyson. Yes, who's made that brilliant diving effort.
What a good stop there by Tyson. Great effort. You can hear it from here. The ball hitting his palm. He shakes it off a little bit, but what an effort there.
Those are, especially with a low target, efforts that can keep you in games. And especially for a young team, you want to see that kind of fight, maybe even if you're not quite in the matchup.
Yeah, 120, you know, it's plenty to defend if a few things go right for you. It is a very deep batting team.
Yeah, you talk about the depth of the Royals. Again, they've sent out a new opening pair, and they could go really in any direction. Agni Chopra still to come, Sharad Lumba still to come, Rishi Ramesh still to come, Jaskar Malhotra to come. Then you talk about Mohammad Mohsin and Rashid Dhawan and Adil Bati. I mean, everyone can really come in and play the big game.
Oh, absolutely. They won't want any early wicket trouble. Nobody does in the power play. But if they can, you know, they can always put their foot on the gas at any point with that batting to come. Not to mention the two in the middle today, right now.
Touch too wide, and Gunarjit Singh just a touch above with his class. Trickles to the rope. 4 runs.
You know, it just did make it there. Grass a little bit slower. today, probably thanks to all the wet we got yesterday. You see it starting to slow down right there, right around the 40 yards. And they just can't quite get there.
Close of over number 2, 18 for none. Untry. Ball in hand. That man. Two very different left arm spinners on your screen, Nate.
Yes, two very different ones. Unch, we've seen amazing results from him so far with the ball. USA U19 spinner will be playing in that World Cup. Boy, did he produce for USA in the qualifiers, in the Americas qualifiers.
Performs everywhere he goes. He's arguably statistically been the best Raptor this season. He gets tremendous amounts of drift and great control over a variety of skills. Remember that Steven Taylor game where he scored 50 off 11 deliveries? It was Untry that came in and slowed him down. Didn't go over the boundary and is over.
Slowed him down, and that was very impressive. And you had to think, coming into that situation, facing a guy who has destroyed spin here, especially anything that's turning into him. You had to think he had to be a little bit concerned, but he didn't look the slightest bit concerned. It looked like an opportunity in his eyes, I think.
And he executed perfectly. Change in field, mid-wicket, and long on for Kunarjeet Singh. Just bounces out there. Great positioning. And I thought when he bowled to Steven Taylor that they had the wrong field set. I was the one clamoring the entire weekend, wasn't I?
Yeah.
For the long on and the deep cover rather than the long on and the mid-wicket. And it forced Untry to bowl Yorkers, basically.
It
and
did.
he nailed them time after time.
He totally nailed him. Yeah, as you said, the field that he was given, he had to put Yorkers not just at that length, but at a good spot. He couldn't give Steven any width. He had to crowd him with the Yorkers, and he nailed it.
Absolutely did. And again, he's already shown off a couple different variations. Slower and the traditional off spinner, and now you can see him go with the arm ball. Oh my God, Mukhtar Ahmed. How has he managed to find that gap? It won't quite get all the way to the rope, but they'll come back for 3. Maybe after some sluggish work from Mihir Patel out on the boundary.
That's the slow part of the ground. We've seen it now travel out that way twice and just die. Likely having to do with the wet that we've had, the rain that we had yesterday. So much rain. There are parts in this ground that dry better than others, as you'll see with just about any cricket ground.
He's not been given any room from Kunarjeet Singh. Again, he's been on the length he's looking to pull, but the big reason as to why he hasn't gotten the power he's after, his hands have just not been allowed to leave his body. Mukhtar Ahmed looks to be in a hurry, can Rai take advantage? Excellent ball. Excellent over as well from Untry. Just gives up 6 from his first. It's 24 for none. Here we go. Here's your changeup. New man. We'll do what Patirana. The Raptors needed seam bowling, and I feel that maybe they could get it off this new face.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Aaron has to offer. We both love watching fast bowling. I'm on.
Yeah, there's nothing better than to see a fast bowler run in and give it some rip and with some swing, maybe some extra bounce. Every seam bowler seems to have something up their sleeve. And so just curious to see what Iran has. Oh, inside edge. Such a fortune for Mukhtar Ahmed. We've talked about him a little bit. Malidua Patirana, who's featured for the Canadian under-19 team, and again looking to get back into that Canadian setup. So we'll see what he can bring. Again, someone who has played a lot domestically up north. Extra pace, extra bounce, but extra width and extra runs for Kunwarjit Singh.
Kunwarjit, we've already seen him put a pile of runs up here in the past at Church Street Park, and that is a shot of authority, welcoming Iran into the attack. 6 from the over so far, 3 balls left. Baltimore already 30 runs into the chase, quarter of the way there.
30 without loss. The Raptors would sit there and say, well, this is where they had us before they took all those wickets yesterday. Just a misfield. Really just out to the left and low. Always tough, but without runs on the board, you've got to come up with those stops.
Yeah, this one just gets through, and let's watch this just get through. Boom. It was going pretty good, pretty quickly. But you want to stop that if you got any chance.
Iran's got to find a length here. Short, full. He's been a little bit sporadic. Slower delivery. Nowhere to go for the Royals, but again, can Iran consistently find a length that he can roll on?
Yeah, can you find an answer? You know, that slower ball worked real well. What do you do next, Aman? What's your counter to this?
Then you go seam up, but you put it on a good length. Maybe just try to get it to nip slightly away, push it slightly. Goes back to the slower one. Oh, what is happening in the field? That's Baldwin and Tyson. They just had a mix-up. Both of them started to go straight at it, and then both of them pulled up at the very end. Allows for an easy single to close. Over 4, 35 for none. More untry. Just 6 runs he gave up in his first. It's the wicket column that needs to be affected now for the Raptors. This game will be over in a hurry if the Royals finish the power play wicketless.
You have to think so. Yeah, Baltimore in the same position just about as Morrisville was in their first inning. You had Morrisville after 4 overs, 33 without loss. Baltimore 35 without loss after their first 4. So very similar positions, but the big trick is the depth of this Baltimore batting.
I think for me as well, the Raptors, what they struggle with, you'll see Untry have a tremendous over, or maybe Ritzer Company has a tremendous over, maybe it's Rashanan. they haven't been able to string tremendous overs together consistently. Why do the Royals take so many wickets in clumps? Because when Mosin and Ludda are bowling together, you just aren't able to escape. And then Lumba comes in and the pressure doesn't go away. Bhakti comes in, the pressure stays on. Lovins comes in, not many loose ones, not many runs. So then you're forced into playing rash shots. I think the Raptors give away too many runs with the ball. Brilliant. Yet again. Again, sluggish part of the field, but the bat of Mukhtar Ahmed will push it right before the rope to come back for another 2. But he's finding that gap with regular ease now, Nate.
Yeah, it just shows how good he is. Having to run on that one, where on a normal day at Church Street Park, you've got to think that's going to run away for 4 pretty easily. As we mentioned, that part of the ground slow today. Make them earn these runs. Make them run them.
Gone. Untry breaks through, and a huge moment as the crowd here at Church Street Park erupts for the young man.
Yes. Always, I mentioned earlier, it's a matter of time before Lada takes one. It feels that way for Untry as well. Ball turning really well for him. Mukhtar Ahmed, impatient.
Huge. He goes for 20. Good start. Can't continue. 38 for 1 with the ball to go in the 5th. We've heard that before. Untry. How great is this young man, Nate?
Well, he is a star in the making here in Morrisville. Certainly the standout so far this season with the ball for the Raptors. You mentioned the need to build pressure to get wickets. Unch can do both of those things. It's very difficult to get score off of.
What a decision here from Raj Chandran. Brings in a slip in Mahir Patel to the new man, Sharad Lumba. Another great over for Untry. Just gives up 3. Takes a huge wicket as well. It's 38 for 1. Brown's crew over there, Lance and his team, they were on the roller in the mid-innings, and they'll be on the roller soon enough for the end of the day as we wrap up play. Rajanan, he wants the other end. I think it's a great decision. Pressure on, see if you can break through the fences of Gunwarjeet Singh. Taken! Oh no, he stepped on the rope. He has stepped on the rope. It's going to be 6. Disheartening for the Morrisville Raptors.
This is really, really tough. Oh. Hard luck there, hard luck.
Again. Insult to injury in the gap. 4 runs.
You know, just learning the ground, learning a new ground, learning to feel out the boundaries. And look at that. He's just going after it right now. Man, this got to really hurt the Raptors. They had him there. You're on, backed into that rope.
It's so tough. And you can see he did all the hard work. He took it, and then he was just trying to set his feet. And again, that riding on the boundary is never easy, and you got to be so aware of so many different components. Again, same region, different fielder, different result. Just going to come back for two.
Looks like Murray out there running that one down. Getting good efforts.
The wicket is not seemingly discouraged Singh. Looking for more and more. We've seen Nate 4 deliveries, and they've all gone to that one region of the ground.
Down to that one region, and now we have the righty on strike. So we might get a break out there.
Remember, Lumba in the very first game of the season looked unassured for a while and then got into flow. I'll be curious to see if he goes back to being very quick and aggressive like we saw in 24, or if he takes his time and sets himself into the game.
There's no reason not to. You can still win this game and still make up some net run rate from here.
Just a bit more measured is Lumba. Wants to see it out. We saw that from Kunwarjit Singh. Nate, we've got El Clasico, mini El Clasico on display. Two MI New Yorkers versus a former Texas Super King.
Oh, good call.
And close of the power play. 52 runs aided by 31 off the bat of Kunwarjit Singh. Murray Tyson. So some leg spin, Nate. You surprised that they've gone to him and maybe not be Gupta now?
No, I don't think so. I think, I think we're going to see a little bit of everybody here. Probably a lot of spin. We haven't seen Baldwin yet. We're through the power play. So I think it's going to be tons of spin right now.
I remember hearing Tyson in the warm-ups talking actually to George Baldwin, said this feels like England. It's English conditions right now, and yeah, it absolutely is. Plenty of wind spiraling, gray cloud cover. It's gotten very chilly, Nate. I'm in a jacket. I know you're braving the conditions right now.
I'm about to roll my sleeves down. I had my sleeves rolled up earlier. So I'm a man of business.
Just one bounce out the ball. The man of business, Nate. You are very well dressed. I can't lie. You got it's like two different shades of blue on, but denim on denim almost with the boots.
Yeah, it's on purpose. The two different shades.
You guys, if you don't know, Nate's been giving me some fashion advice lately. He's been sending me a lot of stuff to go check out. So I've got to try to match the swag with the man to my left.
Come on, you could literally wear anything.
I feel like we've lost the plot, Nate. We're talking about stuff that we don't need to be talking about.
No, it's okay.
I mean, you're spreading fake news. That's
no,
the
it's
problem.
not fake news. You could, and I told you this. I told you. You could pull off anything.
This guy. Unbelievable. Let's see if Tyson can pull off a miracle. Get a couple of wickets and send the Royals into maybe a state of bother. Very comfortable right now, Lumba and Singh, to milk these singles. There's never going to be scoreboard pressure. You've got to manufacture pressure if you're the Raptors.
Yeah, absolutely, you have to. And you do that by building up the dot balls. Tyson here's got a pretty good start.
They want two, it's just going to be one. Great fielding in the end. For me, I'm looking at Sharad Lumba as my man to attack in the moment. Singh has been very aggressive, he's looking to score. But if I'm the Raptors, I might just start to bring some fielders in. Just bring in one extra fielder. Don't leave it to the full extent outside the circle. Plug up one gap. I maybe plug in long off. Get him to go over the top rather than gifting him that single down the ground. When the scoreboard's not on your side, you have to start to think creatively and inventively. And I think the Raptors are past the point of no return. Close with 7:57 for 1.
Come on, you're talking about building the pressure, creating it kind of out of nowhere with creative fields, putting some thoughts into the batter's minds. Now, one of the captains in the South who does that, I think, probably as good as anybody, Stephen Taylor. We saw a lot of that last weekend. We saw 2 slips, 3 slips. We saw 4 men outside of the circle in the 11th, 12th over. And we saw some really creative stuff from Stephen Taylor, and it makes me wonder, if Stephen can continue to earn himself a solid spot in the USA squad. He's already a legend, as we mention it every time, and it would be fun maybe to watch him as a captain someday for USA again.
Yeah, it's always a shout. Again, first spot for Stephen Taylor, get that spot back into that team packed, and for me it's going to be as a middle order all-rounder that Stephen Taylor would come back. I don't know if he's going to fit in the top of the order as Untry continues, but we'll have to wait and see about that. But I think your point about him as a captain, he's very proactive. He's looking to be aggressive and understands the flow of the game. Hasn't been tested much this season due to his team's dominating displays, but you know what the history of minor league will tell you. Oh, that's beat everything.
Ooh,
where is that miss?
Look at this.
Close.
Let's take a look. Just over the top. Just over that one. I think the bounce on that one surprised the batter a little bit.
Everybody, Reddy's hands weren't up. They hit him almost in the forearm, closer to the bicep. So economical is untried. And again, I think while Nanan is going to be the most experienced, and he's at this point in their careers better than Untry is. Untry so far, to me, this season is the highest performing Raptor.
There's no question about it. Yeah, one of the biggest problems with having that game washed out halfway through yesterday.
Wow. Hello, goodbye. All this talk about Untry. What about Gunwarjeet Singh? He's loved that part of the ground.
What a shot from Gunwarjeet Singh. You could hear this. This was such a good, clean sound. Look at how quickly his bat came through on that. He just generated all the power on that one. I mean, he hit that with everything.
Just 60 remain here for the Baltimore Royals. New balls come in. Great umpiring crew that we've got all the way around, doing their very best. They've got the jackets on, and that's a great indication of just how cold it is in late September in Morrisville. Not used to this.
Not at this point. Not in the other day. It was in the mid-high 80s just
This
a couple
week
days ago.
has been rather interesting because it was very nicely positioned. It was like fallish weather where it was
Yeah.
mid-70s.
And then it shot up.
Shot up, and now it's gone straight back down thanks to the bit of rain that's come in.
Yeah, the rain brought in a lot. And see, they got the new ball.
The ball finding committee has got the
They
old
got the
ball.
ball. They found the ball, and this is why it was missing right here. This, boom, just destroyed it. And you know, once it hits that pavement, it skitters off into the woods real quickly.
The kids were after it. They've been running around, flying. They want to see another wicket from Untry. Gunarjit Singh, though, he's so happy to take deliveries into the onside. Creates such a problem for bowlers. It's just, where do you bowl? How far wide can you push it before giving him a region 2 point?
Oh, that's a great point. Now I'm just going to try to bounce back from that on this final ball of the over.
Lumba very happy to just keep watching Gunarjit Singh. They'll take two. Tremendous running from the Royals. Direct hit won't matter. Close of 8, 67-1.
So here's one thing I really like about Antrai. You see, he takes off like a dart for this ball. He's not giving up on this at all. Boom. Look at that. Good throw in. He's always active. He's always in the game. He's very popular here at Churchill Park. When he took that wicket, we had a kid run over here and ask us, "Hey, are you happy about that?" And we're like, yeah, we are.
Smile on his face there. What I'm happy about is the amount of sports happening right now here in the States in particular. Minor league cricket, but then you go beyond just cricket. You talk about the U.S. Open final happening today between Carlos Alcaraz and Yannick Sinner, and it's a centerpiece, of course it is, between 1 and 2. Then you talk about the NFL, week 1 starting up today. Plenty of games in action, and there's so much going on. And then we talk about the Americans overseas that are performing at a high level. Andres Kos,
Oh my goodness.
80 in the CPL the other night.
And you know, John Boy and his crew were actually there, and they got to see it. So it was neat, you know, having, and not just Andres. How good has Kareem Agor been?
Oh my God, he's averaging 50 in the CPL at the moment.
Oh, he's incredible. You've already got people asking for him to be included in the Windy squad. You know, the Caribbean Cricket podcast asking that question, and you know, it makes me wonder why. When are we going to see? Are we going to see him in the USA squad?
Yeah, left arm spin position, very tough to crack into.
If we get this USA versus Windy's Ace team, if we get that series, come on, as you see a nice high bouncer there on the pity. Who will Kareem Agor be here, and who will he be playing for? This is the question for me.
A real question on both fronts. First, the other question is that series. Can we get that series? Is it going to be a thing? There's been plenty of rumors about it, but there's nothing been confirmed. So we're waiting to hear about that. We'd love to see that, and again, love to see Kareem a part of it on the American side. But if it's in the Windies colors, we won't hold it against Kareem. Oh, beats the keeper. Beats the keeper. It's a genuine edge. And I think Reddy had a real chance at this.
Oh, wow, he really did. Let's take a look. It just maybe just kind of yorks his hands, just gets under him, but it looked like it carried just about all the way to me. You have to think a little bit more, and he catches it, a little less, and he stops it, you know?
And it's the duality because that first one ripped through nicely, so he might have just taken an extra step back. And then it just almost died on him thanks to the under edge of the bat. Opportunity gone a begging. Again, Lumba is in no hurry. He is happy to just facilitate Gunarjit today.
Gunarjit definitely having a day. 41 from 24. Really giving the bowlers a fit here. don't know if they've figured out how to bowl to him yet.
And I think everybody had the right idea. You want to go back of the length starting on the leg stump, or get him to almost look to pull, have it slant away, and then get a bounce on the way through. Even that's is fine. You don't want to give him the ability to get the ball to come back in so he can just lean into that back foot pull.
Yeah, that's a great delivery there. From Ruben. It's been fun watching players kind of get on the radar here. Last season we saw Kumarjeet kind of arrive in minor league cricket, earned his way into a major league squad.
Yeah, you talked about it right there. He didn't even play in the 11 for the Baltimore Orioles for the early part of the year. In that first weekend down in Atlanta, Labor Day weekend of last season, he was not a member of that 11 in any of those games. Wasn't a member of the first couple of games here at Church Street Park when they came to play. Only got in because there were so many injuries, so many people who had to miss time, that they finally gave him a chance. He got to open and scored a big 90. And from that point on, you couldn't keep him out of the side. And he got fast-tracked into Major League. Shurat Lumba has a pretty similar story in that as well. It was, to me, more so what he did at Grand Prairie. The Super 8s that propelled him, but he was phenomenal here at Church Street Park as well.
Oh yeah, it just goes to show how deep this Baltimore squad has been. Continue to be very deep. Still haven't seen Ravinder Singh this season.
Haven't seen a new Navrika this season either. So many great players that have been a part of this Royals setup. Close of 9, 71 for 1. Look at what everyone's wearing. Hoodies, hoods up, pants, and this Raptors and Morrisville crowd want to see their team trying to win. That would be the only thing to warm them up here, Nate, because their temperatures are dramatically dropping.
Yeah, I think a wicket here in Iran would give a little jolt to everybody. It's not fun. Aman, you're a fast bowler. So,
thank you, fast. I appreciate that.
Well, standing around for several overs at a time on a cold day, getting the ball, and then going right into the attack, that's not easy, is it?
They're never easy. You just feel a bit tighter. If you're not consistently moving, you maybe feel like you're just not in any real position or really in any warm-up. So it's just so important to keep yourself active in the field. And for me, I like it when fast bowlers are kind of out and about in the field. Iran, he's been stationed at mid-wicket. He's been moving left and right. So many times, I remember my first over would come after I had just ran after 4 deliveries in an over. You're like, oh, I hope they don't give me to this over. And then they finally throw you the ball. But I think that can do a really big favor to your body, to just get you in the right frame and right situation to start to run through hard to the crease. Tremendous effort.
What a stop there. What a stop.
And in the last couple of deliveries, what we've seen is maybe a little bit of an opportunity for the Raptors in the field. So ever so important to commit like this.
Yeah, great stop. Great stop. You gotta love that.
I think if throwing his body around in the infield. I wish we could show you Gupta's little start that he takes with the bowler when he was stationed there at point. He started on the circle and probably finished halfway in. He's probably 15 yards away. He was just so committed to that start. Again, understand you got to save singles now. That required run rate well below 5.
That one just helped over to where Adegupta just vacated.
And again, for me, Nate, something's got to change in this field. It's just far too conservative for the situation the Raptors are in. There will be no pressure. The Royals can milk singles all day long. You've got to force them to hit over you.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, you've got to make long-term goals. I think a goal here has to be take this game deep. Make the Royals go much deeper in the game than they want to.
100%. Again, I think fight is something that builds character. You hear about so many sports teams that talk about, you might have lost the game, but that game showed us what we can be. There's so many examples going around, and during the break, maybe we could talk about it. Maybe right after the break as well. I need to get Nate a jacket. But this first 10 overs, they belong to the Baltimore Royals, unsurprisingly so. 76 for 1. We'll take a short break here in the comm box. Nate's going to go try to salvage himself a jacket, and the players will get themselves a drink as well. Join us when we return here at Church Street Park. Well, Nate, it's not a jacket, but it's a hat.
Yep, I didn't have a jacket. I didn't even have a t-shirt to wear under my shirt. But I've got a corduroy hat, Surrey cricket hat that I'm wearing.
It looks good on you, Nate.
Thanks, man.
It's got a little like baggy gray feel about it, doesn't it? Like that baggy tan.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Very nice hat. I got a kind of a funny story about it, but when I was at the Oval, I picked it up. They got great merchandise at the Oval, I have to say. What an amazing experience that was. I got to be on commentary at the Oval. You can't beat that.
Nate Hayes. Don't leave us here. Remember this one, you make it. The Oval. God, what a dream that is. Rajanan, he's got the ball. The dream for the Raptors, it's to get into that win column, or at least climb into that wicket column. How did they go about doing that, Nick?
Well, Rajanan is certainly a guy that can help them with that. And take a look at his career figures. He's got 37 wickets in 35 innings. Sorry, 33 innings for 35 games. And he's taken them every 15.3 runs at an economy under 5, 4.88. That's his minor league career across 3 different squads.
Unbelievable. Again, you talk about the multiple squads. I think that's so important because he hasn't captained on a lot of those teams. So he's been at the mercy of different captains, of different organizations, of different leadership. And no matter what, he's just gone about his business at a very consistent clip.
Yeah, and he's added 432 runs with the bat. Along with that, consistency with the ball. And we love his effort in the field too. Rajanan is a very solid fielder.
We've seen him take some brilliant catches. I remember out in the Buttermere Cricket Complex, a couple of the catches he took, that's right down on the boundary, high above his head. He's got such a tall frame, he utilizes it tremendously.
Yeah, he was something else. I remember those catches as well.
Some urgency from the Raptors, just wanting to fine-tune everything, see if making Lumba wait could just affect his rhythm. Excellent from Unsharai on the boundary. Boundary riders for the Raptors have been very good throughout the day.
We've seen great efforts out there. Absolutely terrific efforts from both sides of the field. For the Raptors, they have to be happy with that.
One of those would be happy with that man, Gunarjit Singh. They want 2 and a fumble will let it happen. Can't afford those. We just praised him in the field, Nate. It's that commentator's curse we've had all day.
Yeah, that's tough. Sometimes you spill them. Sometimes you don't keep what's there.
This is effortless for me. I think at some point you've got to close that gap. They've pulled every ball this over and have found their way to 6 runs without taking a single risk. Close of 11, 82 for 1. New man with the ball for the first time in minor league cricket. We'll see Mahesh Golalam. with the ball in hand. Saw him with the bat early, got off to a sensational start with the 4. So now we'll try to bowl some off spin and see if he can affect the rhythm of Gunarjit Singh eyeing a milestone. Lumba wanted to give it to him. Sorry, Gunarjit Singh wanted to get it, but Lumba says, nah, bud, you'll have to wait the non-strikers in for a while.
Yeah, not wanting to test the throwing of Ansh there.
Agonizing, isn't it, to wait on 49 at the other end?
It's tough. That's okay. He can handle it.
Oh, hello. Hold on. Is he warming up the left hand here? The first delivery was right arm off spin, wasn't it? Or,
Yes, it
am I
was.
imagining that?
It was. Do we have what is going on?
Hold on. Young man. Four. Nicely swept from Sharad Lumba. The mystery doesn't pan out.
Got the switch bowler. That is really cool.
Sensationally cool. That shot as well. Ridiculous.
Great shot. Take a look at it. Staying with that left hand.
The line is just so far off. He's got a fielder there for protection. I think it's a really cool thing. We've seen this in the Under-19 World Cup when India were playing. He had a bowler who was going to bowl right and left, depending on the option. And if you can do it, more power to you. You just got to be able to land it. Clearly, it seems more comfortable bowling with right arm, but a great skill to have. What a moment for Gunarjit Singh. Remarkably, it's only his second half century in minor league cricket, and he'll only go with thumbs up. He knows it's just business as usual for the stylish, elegant left-hander.
He's got both of those here at Church Street Park. Last season, 90 odd.
There it is. There's your left arm orthodox. I tell you what, we have so many left arm orthodoxes in the country. I don't know if we have many of these, Nate.
I'm gonna have to start the left arm Orthodox Church. Pretty good, actually. I think that was pretty good.
Well, interestingly enough here, just getting some information, Mahish's always been a left arm spinner. So he's never bowled with the right arm. It looks like he was more comfortable bowling with the right arm in that over. Close at 12, 89 for 1. Untry. Back in to bowl his final over. Just giving up 19 runs through the loss of 1 wicket. And he thought about his second over, his third over. It went for 10. So he gave up 9 through his first 2.
Yeah, that's something else. On try.
Wow.
Hustling hard
Wow.
after that ball.
And they only got the 1. They didn't come back for a second. I think Gunarjit Singh unhappy. But again, this to me, you got to bring in mid-wicket. You can't allow that. Untry's bowling too well. You don't have enough runs on the board to just allow them to plug that gap for 2 runs.
Yeah, no question. I agree with you. Ansh last season in the Super 8 took 4 wickets in 2 innings at an economy of 4.75. That is at Grand Prairie wickets. Now, that is very impressive.
Unbelievable. Again, we talked about it. The Super 8s for him were really a coming out party. He played down at Buttermvere's in 2023. Didn't really have the greatest of showings with the bats. Wasn't able to provide much. But then he went to Grand Prairie, those Super 8s. Comes in and was really the most important bowler in the lineup for the Raptors at times. This could be out. Fielder's not there and won't get there. Touch of fortune for Kunwarjit Singh, and again, I think it's the conservative nature of this field set from the Raptors that there isn't anyone stationed at mid-wicket that maybe had a chance to get out there.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. That one to the fine leg. But yeah, you mentioned his bowling, and we mentioned his bowling in the Super 8 last season. He also got 13 runs from 10 balls in his one cameo with the bat, which was very exciting.
Yeah. And again, I remember being there on the sideline. I was going to do the mid-innings interview, and I was there with Abhiram Olasetti, and the roars around that, batting, and riding with the bat and scoring runs.
Yep.
Everyone was so excited for the young kid.
He did well as Sanjay Stanley had a nice innings batting. He's not with the team this season, but he did quite well in that Super 8. Struggled with the heat a little bit. They had some bright spots.
I don't think that might be this is a disappointing thing for Raptors fans. You think about the bright spots. Abhiram Olasetti, really since 2022, was a bright spot. Rohan Phadke, I thought last season really came into his own.
Very good.
Aditya Badala's been great since the inaugural season.
Fantastic.
There were some really great pieces to build off of. Kartik Jagadish, another great example, that just aren't on the roster anymore.
And young too.
Yeah.
And young too. And while you make space for you make way for some of the other young players, it's frustrating to me to not see the names of yesterday's young players in the squad who've done so well to prove themselves. And that's the question I ask. Not just where's the John Campbells this season, which we don't have one on this Morrisville team. Not just the it's tough without Trevon, but what about the mainstays from the last 2-3 seasons who aren't here anymore?
Excellent spell from Ansharai. So just take the one wicket, but ask plenty of questions and provided many challenges. He goes with 4 overs, 1 for 25. It's 95 for 1 at the close of 13.
Yeah, man, it is difficult. You mentioned Adi Padala. Oh, my gosh, what a good clutch player he was with the ball, and also that number 10 position, or somewhere around number 9, 10, 11 with the bat. He gave them some big innings, helped them win some games. But not just him, all the players we mentioned. Now, minor league cricket was one of the wonderful things about minor league cricket is it kind of bridges that gap between youth cricket and the 25, 26-year age, and where we lose a lot of these cricketers, a lot of the top cricketers in the country kind of lose, maybe not their interest, but lose their opportunities in the college ages. And then, their career or their lifetime of serious cricket kind of comes to an end thanks to college, thanks to other opportunities that a lot of these guys end up with. And to me, it's a real shame when you have young players coming up, doing so well, and then losing them at that age, at that college age, or right just after college age, and they're not in the team anymore. I feel like that kind of defeats the purpose of what minor league was supposed to be. And that's the big question I have about this Morrisville team. It's not that these young players aren't so talented. They all look very talented. They all look like they have plenty to offer, and they're going to be great cricketers. But if you have this tradition of losing players at a certain age, they have to ask that question to themselves too.
I think that's a great point that you bring up, Nate, because again, for minor league cricket, or for USA cricket talk in general, you typically talk about the drop off after the under 19 team. right? If you don't make the under-19 team or you make the under-19 team, where do you go from there, right? Can you immediately get to the senior team, or are you kind of on the outside looking in? And then, whilst on the outside looking in, are you going to make that jump, or are you leaving, like you mentioned? And minor league, I think, still has been that great gap. I think it's been a great gap for a guy like Rahul Jadiwala or Satyaji Mukamala, and Mukamala in particular, who's become a mainstay now into the national setup. And there's other cricketers around there as well. So I gotta stay safe. That you can throw into that list. I think the bigger question, like you said, is what happens after the under-21s that minor league force you to be in, and maybe even you can expand that to the under-23s of Major League Cricket. Is it by the time you're 23, if you're not on a Major League roster, is minor league still for you? Or are you still going to be around?
I think Major League has shown that U23 slot is actually a really great age.
Yeah.
Because we've seen some U23s that didn't get chances early. Once they become 24, I think it's safe to say Sanjay is going to be on the team.
Yeah.
Sanjay Krishnamurthy is going to stay on the team. I think it's safe to say that the Ali Sheikhs out there are going to be on a team after the age of 23. I think that's a great sweet spot, and I would almost like to include a U23. Right now, it used to be one U19 and one U21, and now it's just two U21s.
Yeah. Again, I'll be curious to see how minor league continues to bridge that gap. It's very inventive and innovative, minor league is, and the way they go about setting up their tournaments. I think that also the onus would be on owners and team selectors as well, right? You mentioned the Raptors have basically moved into the new branch of young talent, which there's nothing wrong with that. Rithik Kapadi's bowled brilliantly, Anshurai's been brilliant, and there's nothing wrong with moving into new talent. But you also have to recognize when you have some of the older talent, and again, there's also the other flip side. Do those talented individuals still want to play for the team? Are they still willing to play cricket?
And the question I have to ask is, okay, so you've gone away from the early 20s guys, the guys from age 20 to 24 that you had on your team who were doing well, who were, making a name for themselves. You've gone away from them in favor of the young guys. When these young guys get to that age, are they not going to be in the squad anymore? Are you going to go back to the young? Are you going to not keep them around, and you're going to go back to other young guys? Then what's the point? Is my question. You should be, in my mind, building the team, collecting players.
I think there's multiple facets to that too. I think it's unfair to just blame teams for that.
Sure.
Because you don't know the context of,
no, there's a lot of unknowns.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, what is this individual's future look like? Does he want to keep playing cricket? Is he still looking to play cricket? Or has he now moved into the next chapter of his life that doesn't involve cricket? Those are things that will come about, right? And obviously there's different answers to those different questions. Not every case is the same, but you would like to see guys continuing to play beyond just an under-21 slot.
And you have to ask that question, like, what is it if they're not sticking around? What is the reason?
This one could be the second wicket. And will be. Rithik Kapadi connects with Mihir Patel to dismiss Gunarjit Singh after making 55 brilliant runs. And on the brink of 100 for the Royals, the second wicket comes on the board.
Hey, good to see this from Ridwick. Let's take a look at this in replay. Just climbs on him a little bit, I think. Like you said before, he gets that bounce with his height, with the length of his arms, and gets great pace. I think, we're talking a lot about young players, and boy, Ridwick Kapadi has shown himself to me to be a very impressive young man.
The Raptors showing some life, 99 for 2. Agni Chopra. He's opened the other games for the Baltimore Royals, but he's here to chase down the final 25 runs. Plenty of time for the Royals. Anthony Whitfield, nice that he's got that wicket, but now he's bowling to another left-handed major leaguer. Another MI New Yorker. Plenty of them on this Royals attack, and this man's domestic record in India, that average of 94. Unbelievable. And he's carried that through minor league through the first couple of matches.
He's been quite good.
Pride catch. Fielder won't be able to get around in time, and the 100 on the board as we close over 14. 100 for 2. More for Murray Tyson. Reverse sweep in the gap. And that is seam up rolling to the boundary for 4 runs.
Now let's take a look again at this reverse sweep shot from Chopra. What a good one there. This guy, Chopra, looks very talented. He said he's got that great record. I had a little chat with him. He seems to enjoy this ground. He seems to enjoy his minor league so far. I always use a lefty bat in this American domestic setup.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if he can get fast-tracked into a USA team or into a USA setup. We've seen folks like John still waiting, and
Yeah.
but his left-handed spots up top the order, something different. Him and Steven Taylor might be the only two that you see. Oh, hello. He is not looking to take his time. He wants all of the young Tyson. But yeah, there's just not many left-handed options. I think Saad Ali's another great option. Maybe in the 50 over format more so, but
Yeah.
Those are the names that come out from the left-hand side.
Yeah, we would be talking about Jay Surya more,
Yeah.
but he wasn't on the major league team last year, which blew both of our minds.
Was perplexed. I think I was ready for him to be the very second selection, knowing Seattle had the first pick and had released him. He was, to me, going to be the second selection in the draft. Instead, it was this man. And this might be exactly why connects gleefully well for 6.
What a great shot. Like you said, he is in a hurry. I think this is good to see him batting in this position where, you know, we've seen him ease his way into the innings before, but now he's got to come out guns blazing. He knows this is an opportunity for this Baltimore side to make up any type of net run rate differential, having to split points yesterday. They haven't lost the game yet, so it might not come down to that for them, but with the weather here in the South in September, you can't take anything for granted, and I don't think Chopra wants to take anything for granted right now. He wants runs on the board.
Reddy, the only one interested, but that was the 3rd switch hits in the over, Nate.
Yeah, he really likes that shot, doesn't he? I'm looking at the table now in the South. Atlanta Fire, 5 matches, 5 wins. They have a net run rate of plus 3.9433.
I mean, you understand why, because of the other left-handed opener, Steven Taylor's destructive ways.
That's true. He played a lot of Florida games against the Florida team.
Check the hands of the umpires. I think it dipped enough. But really got away with that. Agni Chopra and Murray Tyson. He'll feel disappointed. Close of the 15th. It's 114 for 2. Correction, 113 for 2. Nate, minor league cricket happens all over the country, and so much happening in the South, isn't there? What's going on?
Well, right now we've got Orlando trying to defend 126 in a game that looks an awful lot like this one. Atlanta Lightning are 94 with a loss of 2, chasing that 126, and they are in the 13th over right now, so it looks like it's just a matter of time. Chandrapal with a half century for Orlando. And we have Amila Aponzo with a fifer down there.
So good, Amila Aponzo. Made the switch over to the Lightning, and yeah, it's a very similar story to what's happening out here at Church Street Park. That's happening at the Orlando Cricket Ground as well, which is, you know, first time minor league's been down there. It was been this weekend.
That's right. Nicholas Manohar not out right now, 31 from 38. Manang Patel scored 43 from 26
Ridiculous.
before getting out.
He's been in such tear. But the Manohar, I think, has maybe been a find for them. He was brilliant batting alongside Manang Patel.
So fun to watch. So fun to watch. Manang Patel's strike rate this season has just been unbelievable on these south wickets.
Batting on a different planet. Talk to us through this table here. You talk about the Fire's net run rate, but what is, let's say, a win for the Lightning and a win for the Royals? Now, they're not certain, but it seems we're gearing towards both of those results. What do they mean for the South? That'll be 4. No, it won't. Just stop. In the end, didn't quite get enough.
Well, it won't really change the table. Atlanta Fire's big time in the lead right now with 10 points in 5 games, and I mentioned their immense net run rate. The Atlanta Lightning currently in second place with 6 points. They would move to 8 points with a win. Baltimore Royals would move to 7 points with a win, so they'd be behind by 1 point, but they've got a game in hand on both teams, both Atlanta franchises, so they've got a little bit of an edge, or they've got, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to beat somebody next weekend to get closer to that first position.
Yeah, and that's why the Royals would have also wanted that result yesterday. That no result really hurts, because if you're even points, 1 game back, there you go. You're right in position to win the division. That no result against a Raptors team that they had basically ready to go, ready to beat.
Yeah.
It kills you, and so
Yeah.
I think that's where now you're going to have to beat Atlanta franchise again. Which those aren't promised, those games.
No, those are very difficult games. And an interesting thing, this is a very interesting thing. In the 6-team division, Morrisville's in 4th place with 1 win, 1 loss, 1 no result yesterday. And though they're ahead of both Orlando and Fort Lauderdale.
Fielder, yes, on try. Takes another one. And Ridley Gubberty's got some celebrations up his sleeve as well. The 3rd one falls. It's the Royal captain.
Wow, another great delivery there. Apadi put his back into that one. On try, nice celebration there. Great job. I really like this Apadi. I like the way he bowls.
116 for 3 now.
So even though Morrisville's in 4th position with a win, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale in 5th and 6th respectively, without a win either team, Morrisville, thanks to only batting 40 overs in their 3 innings batting total, they've batted 2/3 of what they should have. Thanks to that, their net run rate is actually minus 2.9976, which is almost a full run worse than Fort Lauderdale in 6th position, which is minus 2.0744. So even though they're ahead of them in the table, they are a full run behind everybody below them in net run rate.
8 runs to get. Ramesh in. I love getting Rishi Ramesh some opportunities here for the Baltimore Royals. Rishi Ramesh, a sophomore at UT Dallas. Computer science degree he's looking to get. He actually has quite the idea. I was talking to him about it last night, and he's saying that he's developing, and for those, please don't steal this. I haven't actually spoken to him if I need to say this on air, because I need to keep it confidential, but he's developing a system in a software that will clip cricket highlights for you. If you plug in a live stream link, you plug in the number and the shoe color, and it goes through and it just creates all the clips involving the individual that fits that description.
Pretty cool.
Pretty darn cool. This could be another one. This should be another one. It is another one. With the Uppity. He's showing some fight, and the Raptors, they might feel just alive here.
Well, this is great stuff. Uppity, once again, putting us back into it. And we got the Uppity on try connection going on right now.
Closes out with the Uppity's day. 3 for 24 and a 16, 117 for 4.
Well, let's look at this. What color are those shoes on it?
I think they're pink.
Chopra.
So just throw that in. You'll see a couple switch hits. One big slog sweep for 6 as well.
Just throw that into Rishi's highlight generator.
Yeah, and like he said, the idea came actually like from a really nice position where it was just, he saw a bunch of people making cricket highlight videos and clipping up their own highlights, and he said, I was clipping up my highlights, and it just taking me so long to do it.
Goodness.
And he just thought, what is there'd be a quicker way to do this? And he's like, you know what, there isn't, but what if I could make it? And if he's got the tools to do that, hello.
Look, I'm so happy that I've praised this guy, that I'm on his good side. I need the discount. Rishi Ramesh, I need the discount for your software, please.
Rishi, once you get it there, we're happy to have you sponsor the show, the minor league show that we do.
Absolutely.
Maybe you can do that.
Yeah. We'll feature your technology like every week.
Adi Gupta with the ball. Adi Gupta with an extra. Just the 6 runs to get. It's 1 hit away. Ramesh wants to be there to hit the closing runs. That's a fact. But just do something for his confidence, maybe his spot in the order. Who has joined him out in the middle? It's Rishi Dhawan. So no Jasprit Malhotra, no Mohammad Musa, just getting some lower order guys some experience. Nate?
Yeah, may as well. There's nothing at risk here. As he said, if you're Morrisville, you want to take this as deep as you can. And I think against this batting side, he could have done a whole lot worse than being in the 17th over with Baltimore needing only 1 shot basically to win.
And it would be a good test for Adi Gupta right here. I think this is a pressure situation. You never want the game to finish in your over, right? You might not win the game from here. You probably won't. But can you just prolong it? Can you keep it out of your over? Go and get 4 more dot balls. Just 1. Game will just be prolonged here. Again, Ramesh would want to finish it, maybe finish it in style, but again, so important for him and his position in this team. He comes up from Dallas every weekend, Nate, to play for the Baltimore Orioles. I asked him, would you rather be at college? You know, you're a sophomore, young kid. He's like, I'd just rather be here playing cricket. Loves the game. Hardly another individual goes to NC State and spends his weekends here at Church Street Park. I don't think any Raptor knew who was going to go get that one. There was a moment where Gupta was going after it, then Reddy went, then Unstry went, and then it ended up being the fielder stationed in the deep that came out and stopped that one.
Rishi Ramesh wants to be the one to get the winning runs here. Only 2 needed to win. Let's see, Adi Gupta, he approaches. His run-up is quite hurried.
Don't see too many well lefts, but that'll do for over number 17. It's 122 for 4. Good to see members of the community out. That's Mayor TJ Cawley with some of the parents of the Morrisville Raptors players. Always good to see the individuals that are here. We had the town manager here early in the day at the toss. Brilliant to talk to him and what cricket means to this community and the plans they have for Church Street Park and how they can continue to elevate it and keep getting cricket to come back to Morrisville, North Carolina. It is its defining feature, isn't it, Morrisville?
Yeah, it is. I mean, this is a cricket community. This is a very special place in American cricket, that is for sure.
Whipping it in quick. And yeah, I think you talk about the lack of Major League Cricket being here. It hurt people in the community. They want to see Major League Cricket here. That's not a knock against Major League Cricket, but it shows how much people in this community value cricket. And so it's important to try to get that back. Game, set, and a match. The Baltimore Orioles will walk perfect on the weekend. They claim a win that they should have had just 24 hours ago. And it was a very decisive win. The Raptors showed great fights, but Nate, this game was all the Royals the whole way through.
Yeah, it was the Royals to take, and they did it right there. Godwin, as you mentioned, not usually batting in this position, wanting to put some runs up for himself. And that's the end right there. Royals win by 6 wickets. And they do it in the 18th over.
Yeah, decisive, clean cut. It was spearheaded by Gunwarjeet Singh, 50. And from that point, it was just a couple of cameos. Muthuraman got it started nicely. Some runs for Sharad Lumba. And while Ritvik Uppity bowled brilliantly, so did Unsharai Nate. It was just too little, too late.
Yeah, just too little, too late for sure. You gotta wonder what a 20 more runs on the board would look like, but this is a step in the right direction for Morrisville if you consider yesterday's batting and the game before that as well. So they've got a few things to be happy about. Like I said, they want to try to take Baltimore as deep as they can. They got into the 18th over with them in the chase. They managed to bat the full 20. These are things that they could be happy about, putting up 123. But 19 wickets in your last 2 innings batting, actually 29 in your last 3 wickets batting. The Morrisville Raptors have a lot of work to do on the batting side.
No question, and they'll hope that by next week Trevon Griffith can get in and get stuck into this 11 and change their fortunes. They're falling well behind, and the Royals, another successful weekend down here in North Carolina. They head out today, but you can see all smiles, all hugs and celebrations for that team. Didn't need to use all their batting resources, and again, really clinical throughout the weekend. They win by 6 wickets. We thank you for joining us here in Morrisville, North Carolina. for what has been a tremendous display. Nate, what else is happening in the
I
South?
just want to let you know what's to come next weekend. We've got a lot of games here at Church Street Park. Friday there's a game, Saturday there's a couple of games, Sunday there's a couple of games, and Monday there's a game, and it's all South action. We have Baltimore will come back here, Fort Lauderdale will return, Orlando, and of course Morrisville Raptors. So please tune in next weekend, and we will see some great cricket here once again at Church Street Park.
We thank you guys for joining us all weekend. Nate, you got one more thing
Oh,
you need to add.
yes, I just want to remind everybody to watch our show
There you go.
on MLC Network on YouTube every Wednesday, usually at 9, sometimes
9
at
p.m.
9:30.
It'll be at 9 p.m. We'll have that squared away. I've figured out how to work the green screen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys joining us all weekend long, even through the rain, even through the muggy conditions today. For myself, Owen Patel, for Nate Hayes, and for Bob Erbug and our entire production crew, we say thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you again.